and the stage over the holidays, right?
I did have to look at it. I did have to look at it twice.
But you will go to like Walgreens and you see like
we're live, Eric.
Walgreens will get, okay. I'm not saying anything wrong.
No, dude, I'm just messing with you because you're like, yeah, you go to Walgreens.
Censorship.
No, I'm just saying. We're talking about like the deodorant stuff. It's like it's funny because it looks like a gift pack type thing. Like you go into like Walgreens over the holidays and they have like some Axe body spray with a copy or a game.
I was scrolling through my feed when I saw it, and I was like, I went past it, and I was like, what? And then I went back and looked. I was like, yeah, typical.
No, you knew when it was crazy is when
first it was the onesie. Now it's it kind of makes sense.
Glad we commented on it. He's like,
you gotta have something to wash up with before you put the onesie on.
Wow. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta have the body wash and the onesie.
Are they trying to say it's subliminal to E3 conference? Gamers? Is that what's going on right now?
Yeah. I heard it'd be funky up in there, man.
They like get it, use it. We encourage it.
Matter of fact, they're
gonna the boys gonna be passing out free samples, man.
Man, they ain't gonna pass out free samples.
Gonna be right in that FanFast book bag.
Whole 4-pack
ready.
You said 4-pack.
He said it's gonna be in the FanFest book bag.
Like when you go to the dentist and they give you like a gift bag of like dental stuff. It's gonna be like that.
Like y'all need this.
Oh my goodness, that is too funny. Too funny. Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, what? I'm sorry. What's going on? Is that me or?
No,
we got it. What?
That's how we get a dislike already.
because people are upset at me right now, man. When they don't like when I talk about gun control in this country, they don't like when I talk about Shannon Loftus. People don't like when I tell people to calm down over deodorant or because what VG Game said about their title. Microsoft is making Xbox body wash, so now you can smell like second place in the console awards. Who the fuck? I mean, how do you not find that funny? That shit was hilarious. And people are upset about that. Oh my god, that's why the media is shit. Are you serious? Is that what you really focused on?
Yeah, but then they also forget. But most of those people also forget in that same breath. They try to be the media and deliver all this news, and they do the same damn thing on Twitter amongst this whole community.
Oh, that's why I said rest assured. I think we're all looking for Microsoft to have a good E3, right?
Hey, and as soon as I say that, we get another dislike. See how that works? I tell you, man, people don't like me. But, that's fine though, because I always say, BRAP is a place where you come and you speak your mind. And if you have a difference of opinions, it's cool. I went back and forth with Nate in the live chat. We don't agree and stuff. That's okay though. It's cool. Like this whole idea, if you don't agree with me, then you're my enemy is bullshit.
No, I agree. And that's one thing I always respect about your platform, Brad. Like at the end of the day, even me and you all the time don't see eye to eye. We'll go back at it forth in the DM.
Oh yeah, you and I. Yeah, I mean, it's funny, Cognito. Like you and I, most people probably would never think. You and I have not always seen eye to eye.
Yeah, but it's just great discussion. It's great, banter just to see. So you like, okay, let me hear, Brad, where you coming from, why you feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, this is why I'm coming. This is why I think it's wrong. It's just healthy debate without being disrespectful and all that stuff. And that's why I encourage it. Like people have to get out of a hive mind mentality. Like if you ain't rocking with what I'm saying, you bugging out, you completely wrong, or just getting straight disrespectful. Like I'm not for that. So that's why I always on the platform.
But get out of your feelings.
Yeah.
Not personal. Unless somebody goes right at you, that's one thing. But if we're just talking about consumer product, what you mad for?
That's the problem, though. Everybody think they coming at them, even when the conversation is not about them. They just want to inject their thoughts into everything.
Yeah.
Indeed. I'm telling you, I got heat for Shannon Loftus. I mean, that whole thing about her.
When I was listening to you talk about it, I was like, because me personally, I didn't have a problem. I mean, I think I had a problem. The only thing I had a problem with was the fact that she's an executive and you can't act that way on Twitter, just because of that moniker you hold. But overall, I was like, shit, get at that motherfucker. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it at all. But I mean, I do understand the side if you are in that type of pristine position, you kind of can't act that way. So, I can understand why some people want to defend it, but you also got to say to yourself, do you think that was a feasible thing that she should have done. No, you shouldn't have done that. Right. Now the whole article thing with VG, that was just funny. if you can't laugh at that, why are you playing games and why do you even care about this?
Yeah, that's my point. You take this whole thing way too seriously. Like it's a joke.
Wendy's account said that, nobody say anything.
Yeah, know, and right? They be clapping back.
Wendy's foul out here, man.
Yeah, oh man, they clap back at people every day.
Exactly, but it's like if somebody from a media outlet gets a little clever and writes something funny. It's like, look, we all know where it is. It's not like they're lying. They've been in second and third place the generation. It's not like they're making it up. At this point, what are we talking about?
Hey, look, and I think especially when like we were talking about Microsoft's their PR and stuff like that. I think a lot of this is, I mean, we kind of got to look at ourselves in the mirror too, because we kind of came up to this. We kind of put this situation out there because all people used to say before this generation, like towards the beginning of the generation, Microsoft doesn't talk to the community. They're a bunch of drones. They don't play games. We don't know what's going on because they're invisible behind their glass house windows. And now that they come out and they talk about all this stuff because this is what we wanted them to do, we kind of set this up to a point where now we wish they shut the hell up sometimes. But we opened up this Pandora's box. And now the one thing I know about Microsoft is they swing so heavy in one direction. They don't know how to just pivot. They have to do a complete 180 and go in the other direction. And that's what we're starting to see with a lot of these, instances that be popping up from time to time.
I think by virtue of the fact that they are out there like that and they've been out there,
they can't take it off. They can't turn it off.
Not even that. I think that's where the personal thing comes in because everybody kind of looks at it like we're family. Like you're attacking my family,
right?
Like,
true. That might be it. That might be it. But then those same people will say, "Oh, you don't see Sony executives out here saying all this stuff." I mean, but
I'm always like, good.
They out here working.
Well, they need to follow Jim Ryan.
I mean, Jim Wright, he doesn't post it on Twitter. He just says it in news articles and
crazy stuff.
he goes to print with it.
Yeah, fuck your couch. Buy PlayStation 5.
Well, he just says fuck your couch while he kicks it with his 9-inch.
Yeah, buy PlayStation 5. He actually didn't say that, by the way. I just want to clarify that.
He's not gonna be clear.
Yeah. No, we had somebody else say some idiot shit like that.
Who's that?
Like I said,
16 years ago when we had to afford second jobs to buy
systems.
Man.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad.
We had Twitter when that was going down.
We didn't have Twitter, but I was at the in the game the GameSpot forums, and it was on the forums. It was meltdown. Let me tell you something. The Xbox fans jumped all over. It was like, it's your turn.
Yeah. On that one. I ain't
people were just as petty back then, but it just wasn't seen by everybody.
Exactly.
That's true. Social media presence was different.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I can pull some of those forums now.
Yeah.
Well, I want to give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Welcome everyone to another episode of Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. We have a special returning guest, someone who we are really, really excited to have back on. We have, I got to do an introduction like you do. Introducing the man who tweets at 5 a.m. doing chest press and leg squats.
Yes.
The man who believes that Stadia is the future. The voice of reason in the Iron Lords podcast. AKA you
gotta call him the gaming ninja, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
the gaming ninja,
AKA the gaming shinobi.
Want to hear, but what you need to.
Yeah. My man, Lord Cognito, how you doing today, brother?
Oh man, y'all got cleaned it up nice, man. I like that. I'm feeling good out here, man.
Hey, Cog, it is so. Let me tell you something, man. It is so good to have you back on, man. It's been a minute.
Facts, bro. Once we were talking, the minute I got that Thursday off, I'm like, I gotta be here, man. Long overdue. Salute, man. It's been a minute. And it's always good talking to you guys. B Money in the building, Forte in the building. Where's Slow Mo at? Eric Jackson in the building.
He's about 3 hours from me right now.
Slow
Mo out there taking pictures of his nasty toes in the middle of a picture right now.
Hey, easy there.
Oh man,
I gotta jab at him, man.
Come
on, why you gotta jab at me, Forte, man?
I won't see.
No, because I know what you're talking about.
No.
You just caught it blindly, man.
You caught a blind hook. see that sucker punch wasn't for you, but you just made it about you.
You just stepped in front of it.
Yeah, you just stepped in front of it. I wasn't even. You know what? I completely forgot that you posted those pictures and you just brought it back up.
Oh my goodness!
I'm gonna need you to sometimes sit back and allow me in slow mo just to do us.
Yeah, I just want to say that when it comes to debates, you were always right, Forte. You were the voice of reason in the relationship between you and Slow-Mo.
I see why you when Slow-Mo's here, he's always taking Slow-Mo's side. He told me a couple weeks ago, he's like, yeah, Slow-Mo has never lost the argument. I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna fall back.
Well, this is a
mushroom like, yo, hit my hand. That's from him.
Right. Right.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, big shout out to our partner in crime, Slow-Mo Backslap, who's on vacation in sunny Florida.
He's lurking.
Yeah, so he's probably listening.
Matter of fact, let me type in chat to see if he's actually there.
Yeah, he might be. So
he's a lot of going invisible.
Yeah.
No, he ain't
but
there right now.
Cognito, man, so you are getting ready.
Yes.
To fly out tomorrow.
Yes.
To the West Coast for E3, man.
Whew.
Dude, how excited are you?
Very excited, man. Very excited, man. This type of year, I love it, man, because all the stuff starts to come out, the leaks, and then you're making your appointments, you're making your rounds, and it's like for anybody who hasn't gone to E3, I was telling Boom, because this is his first one, and he's gonna be rocking with us. And the thing about it, it's just like a fraternity. It's like people you haven't seen in a while, you come together, you know what I'm saying? The whole industry's there. It's so much fun. Like my first one B was me, you, and Cal, I think man in the store, and King lost his bag or something. We bet you then you got us back. But it's just like seeing all your people every year, you know what I mean? And just uniting, and like during the course of a day, you could be, doing work, and at one point, oh man, there's Corey Balrog. Like, okay, there's, like it's just this thing where you're in between gamers, celebrities, the devs, and then the announcements are coming. It's my favorite time of year. There's nothing. It's the Super Bowl for gaming. That's how I can attribute it to anyone who hasn't gone. And Brap, you gotta. I've been talking to you. Yeah, at least, man. Come on, that's the big one too, because most likely, we're gonna get PlayStation 5 hardware and reveal on Xbox.
Lord King gives me a hard time.
Oh yeah, he ain't getting off.
Yeah.
It's a Super Bowl, man.
It's fun, man. I'm really excited. I got a lot of stuff, some stuff that I can't wait to talk about that I'm gonna cover, and then. It's just, man, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what everybody's going to do, especially these conferences too.
Yeah, I'm really excited to, read some of the feedback and things that you guys got to experience there. I'm assuming a lot of this is going to be on the lordsofgaming.net website, which,
yes, sir.
If you guys haven't checked out the website, please check it out. Great website. I'm excited for you guys. I can't wait, to hear, some of the stories and get some feedback from you guys in terms of some of the games and interviews that you had. And we actually had Lord King last year. You may remember.
Yes.
He was broadcasting live with us from the house from Los Angeles. And that was pretty cool, man. So I got to reach out to him. I don't know if we can. Hopefully we can do that again. It was really cool to have him on. He was. You could tell he was excited and everything, and it was really cool kind of getting his insight into some of the stuff that was that you guys had seen. So I'm excited for you, man. I'm excited. It's funny you mentioned Boom. This is his first E3, and I'm so happy for him, man. Great. Boom is a great dude, man. Great dude. Big shout out to him, by the way.
Oh, such a good dude, man. Like I've been rocking with Boom for a minute, and I told him, I was like, dude, are we getting you there? Don't even worry about it. He's like, yo, I'm up there, Cog. He's like, I don't know if I'm gonna get a chance. I said, you're gonna get your first E3, because it's something to be said. Like I remember when Addict, it was his first one. It's just something to be said, because I just like to go to the car and then just look at their face and see people go crazy. I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is the one. And it's nothing like it, man. Like, like you sit there and these announcements are going off, and it's just one thing after another. It's the Super Bowl. If you're a gamer, you owe it to yourself. 1 year, like just put holla at me. We got the compound, you know what I'm saying? We got the, if it comes down to just spending too much money on a place to stay, everybody's got their own room, their own space, you know what I'm saying? And it's so much fun, man. I mean, who else stayed? Sam stayed with us 1 year. PlayStation, bruh, you know what I mean? He was there. This year we got Boom, and like people come in and out, and you know, like I say, it's the best time of year, man. It's so much fun. You owe it to yourself as a gamer to definitely do E3.
Yeah, no, I it's on my bucket list. You know, things to do. I said it to my wife before I turned 45. I'm going to an E3.
Yeah.
She kind of looked at me. She's like, "What's that?" And I explained to her. I was like,
What's that?
Like nerd stuff, baby, nerd stuff.
I'm like, "Hey, it's nerd stuff." She's like, "Are there gonna be girls there?"
Nerd things.
Just make sure you check in, bro. Make sure you check in.
Yeah, because there's girls there. I was like, nah, baby, nah.
Be like that dude in Harlem Nights. Hey, baby, it's Jimmy. Tell the kids I love them. I ain't never coming home. Remember Lady Heroin from Harlem Nights? Yes. That's a great movie, by the way. It's one of my favorite movies. But
just because you sell heroin, you gotta be called Lady Heroin.
Lady Heroin. All right, so E3's here, and I tell you what, the leaks, the amount of information that's coming out is just great. I mean, Jason Schreier pretty much has confirmed that Destiny 2. Oh, this is big. I'm telling you. Let me tell you something. And it's funny. I was going back and forth with Jay Fonzarelli on DM yesterday. Stadia is the future. He's kind of like, you know, I keep telling people, don't sleep on Google. They are $1 billion company. And the reason why I say this is because I heard the same thing when Microsoft got in the game. People laughed their asses off.
Facts.
And the worst part about it is when Microsoft got into the console business, they didn't have the best reputation in business at the time. Remember, they were going through their whole antitrust lawsuits and all that other stuff, and they were frowned upon by the gaming community because of their reputation in the tech community, in terms of some of their anti-consumer or monopolization of the computer or the technology industry at the time. And so a lot of people were very skeptical. A lot of people didn't think they could pull it off, but they did because they could. They had the money to do it, and that's why I could be wrong. Look, I could be wrong. You guys could go back 5 years from now and listen to this podcast and be like, remember that idiot Ricky thought Stadia was going to be the next big thing?
Oh, we're not going to do that. People going to have the receipts.
Yeah.
People pull
receipts.
The receipts now, man. They're going to get you for us.
Oh, yeah. The Brad panel's going to pull receipts on me. It's good. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a huge get.
Yes.
For Stadia. We're talking about Destiny 2, which is probably the biggest, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the biggest looter shooter out right now in the market, with that Bungie name recognition and the fan base and everything. I mean, now Google has this game, and now the one thing that Google has, and if this game can stream well on devices, now you're looking at a situation, and again, this all depends on. We'll find out tomorrow. Some guy says Google Stadia shows tomorrow. It's at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
This game can play on a potato.
Yeah, we're gonna find out pricing, which I think is important. We're gonna find out because that's the unknown here outside of network performance is what's pricing going to be like? Is pricing going to be consumer friendly? Are they going to offer tiers? Does it make sense? But still, Destiny 2 is a big get, and I think if this game plays well on devices and the technology works, come on, you don't have to go out and buy a $400 console now. And you can stream it on any device.
That's the huge thing.
I don't know. That sounds pretty. That sounds pretty tempting. You know, so Cognito, as our guest this evening, what are your thoughts, man?
Man, it's funny because I do the last word with Ebontis, and I've been Forte though. Like I've been in my bag, you know, theory wise, as far as what I think is going to happen. And one of the theories is that crossplay is definitely happened. The reports were coming out that you know, this is something that they wanted to do, I believe, since the last DLC, and because of the exclusive situation that they had with Sony.
You mean cross save?
Cross save, yeah. Yep. And you know, they wanted to do that, but they, you know, at the time, I guess for whatever reason, you know, Sony shut it down, or Activision shut, whoever it was responsible, it got shut down. So anyway, you know, fast forward now, we know, you know, and shout out to Hulk Law, we know contractually that the relationship between Activision and Sony ends, you know, at the end of the Season of Opulence DLC. So all that stuff, which was exclusive, and we've actually seen bugs where there's an exotic called the Wave Splitter that's a PlayStation exclusive that has actually shown up on PC and Xbox, and Bungie has had to actually kind of like exit out so that you don't access it. They're not ready for you to access it, and they always said until September. So 1 September, we knew the cadence is going to still remain the same with them doing a new content post Activision deal. So the key came down to, okay, what do they do? Because on PC, they are on Battle.net. That relationship with Vicarious Visions, that's going to end. They're going to need a new suitor there, and then the exclusivity. So the way I looked at it, I was like, Bungie at this stage, in my opinion, I don't think they want to lock themselves into, you know, probably like another exclusive kind of deal, and they want to get themselves out there. So I was predicting them finding suitors, right? The Stadia thing blew me because I'm like, at first I'm like, wow, and then I read the details of it, and I'm like, you know what? It makes sense because at this point, they want to get themselves accessible to as most people as possible. It's not like it's an exclusive deal just with Stadia. They're still talking with Xbox. Yeah. I'm assuming PlayStation is going to still jump on board. So this gets them on the streaming side. You know what I'm saying? I still have my little theories on the console side, what they do. You know, maybe they do a marketing deal. We shall see. You know what I mean? That's one of my theories. With maybe Microsoft or someone else, we'll see. But it makes sense, man. And with this whole streaming thing, if Google is able to present it in a way that it is passable, it is doable, people feel confident playing it in that fashion, that is a win. That is when that you're talking about from the comfort of your own browser, you know, playing a game and having that point of entry. And then to have all those different networks together under one family, you're talking about better loading queues for PvP, matchmaking becomes better, Destiny becomes instantly better. And Forte knows, like, you know how many people are like, look, I've grinded out characters, you know, I got so many hours, I'm not, and now you're giving them the ability to you know, hopefully to go back and forth. That changes the game for Destiny. That's a big deal. I'm excited. I want to see what Google has to say. I want to see what Bungie has to say. And then remember also, next week, they're going to be at E3 on the panel with Jeff Keighley. So I knew something big was happening. I'm like, Bungie's just not going to be on the panel randomly at E3 for no reason. So it's interesting times, man. Very interesting.
No, that's a great point, man. And it, you know, I think, you know, being the cross save, cross progression stuff is big for them because now you potentially, I think you touched upon this, Cognito, that, you know, I think from a business standpoint now you are looking at a situation where people are buying potentially multiple copies of Destiny, right, to play on multiple devices or platforms, and you know, that is a win for them. And I'm excited for Bungie, but I do want to get some of the other panel members' thoughts on this. B, I'm going to go to you. What are your thoughts on this, B?
I think it's pretty exciting, especially the cross save stuff. I actually was just playing Destiny 2 a couple of days ago, and you know, just trying to level up. I had returned to Forsaken. I didn't finish that campaign on there, so just trying to level up and stuff like that. And to kind of hear this news, it's exciting because I haven't turned the game on PS4 since before like any of the DLCs came out. So to be able to jump onto another platform and just carry over all that progress would be amazing. You know what I mean? I can still, you know, put in all the time and pick up the game on any device. So I think it's super interesting. I think, you know, going to Stadia is is a power move by Google. You know what I mean? They knew that they had to get something big, especially since they didn't really show many games when they initially announced it. So having one of the biggest, you know what I mean, multiplayer, you know, shareware shooters was something that they had to check off. You know what I mean? It's got to be one of the checks that they had to make. So I would assume that, you know, since they're showing stuff tomorrow, that, you know, some sports games would be there as well, as well as some other, you know, popular, you know, big popular games. So they definitely had a checklist, and Destiny was on it. So it's gonna be pretty interesting.
Let me ask you, B. Do you think like Bungie? Do you think that Bungie probably saw their game running on the Stadia network, right? You think like Google's like, all right, this is how this game's going to work on your network. What do you guys think? Like, are you guys down with this agreement, or do you think it was a matter of, you know, we don't care how it runs on Stadia, just give us the money? You know what I mean? Like, because
I think Google probably approached them. You know what I mean? I know that the developers kind of have to, you know, build the game for Stadia or whatever, but I think you know, Google showed them the technology and what's going to be available there, and I think, you know, they took a look at that and said, you know, they could leverage that. You know what I mean? And it could be a power move for Bungie as well. You know what I mean? They, you know, kind of being on their own now. You know what I mean? It makes sense to be in as many places as possible. You know what I mean? You want to keep that community thriving, and you should be able to be available wherever your consumer is. So, you know what I mean? It's a two-way street, and I think it should work out for both of them.
Yeah, interesting. All right. I'm going to go to Mr. Eric Jackson. Eric, what are your thoughts on Destiny 2 and Stadia?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same line with Cog and B Money. In particular, that, you know, I have a copy of Destiny 2 sitting on the PlayStation 4 that I haven't been on, like B said, since before the DLCs dropped.
Wow.
Because I was doing most of my grinding on Xbox, and I was like, I just don't have the time to put into both platforms. So yeah, it's gonna be dope if they get on board and I can go in and just log in and watch all my progress, you know, load in. That would push me to want to jump back into that side of the community and play over there too. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever work I'm putting in there, it's gonna come back to the other side. You know, so yeah, I'm definitely down for this. I don't see any negative in that at all.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that, with the Stadia thing, yeah, they pull that off. That's like, yeah, that's a huge Trojan horse.
Yeah.
You know,
no, definitely
a smart play. You know, and again, it shows you that's, people can say what they want to say, but it's not by coincidence that they're looking at Bungie, who just, you know, dropped 400 pounds by losing Activision.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure they've sat around the table and talked about what their plans are.
And I think, you know, could be a huge thing for consumers, especially if it does work. You know what I mean? Be able to open up in browser, or, you know, be able to play it on console and still get that 60 frames per second. Not everybody can afford the PC. You know what I mean? To run that game at 60 frames. You know what I mean? As console players, we can run the game at 30. You know what I mean? And, you know, 30 is cool for what it was, and we accepted that. You know what I mean? But if we could get that game at 60 frames, like, the game is beautiful. But if we could get it at 60 frame as console players, that would be amazing. So that's another thing that I think, you know, Bungie took a look at and said, you know what I mean, this is a way to kind of open up the floodgates and let more people experience it and the best way. So yeah,
it makes sense. It makes sense, especially games as a service, man. Like, it's just, it's a good marriage. Again, the key is going to be, you know, the latency. If they're able to pull it off, because we know, you know, listen, Destiny is an always online game. What they've showcased so far has been Assassin's Creed, you know, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a single player, but, you know, Destiny is an always online. You talk about multiplayer, you talk about matchmaking. If they, from a technical standpoint, if they're able to develop for it and prove that it runs efficiently and very seamless to a console-like experience, that is a feather in the cap.
But don't you?
That will make people believers.
Yeah, actually, that point you just made, Cognito. That's what I was gonna say. Like, you got to believe, and I'm thinking I could be wrong. I'm thinking that Google has to be confident in their platform if they're going after a game like this. Because imagine if this game comes on Stadia and it poo-poos all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Kiss Stadia goodbye.
Yeah, this is one of the hardest games if you think about, like I said, an always online game with multiplayer matchmaking. There's all these online dependent features, whereas opposed to, like I said, Assassin's Creed, which they've been their #1 showcase. Again, it's a single player game. It doesn't have that reliance. If they're able to show this, man, that's going to get people to turn around. Again, it's all key on the presentation. So, and then obviously we talked about price of entry. How are you going to be able to play this? Like, what's the cost looking like? Do you got to subscribe to a monthly thing? If that, if not, is it a la carte? Is it just on a game basis? Do you give people the option of both? If they're able to nail those things, that's the next step to how, how much this thing can penetrate.
Yeah, that's a great point. Forte, you are the Destiny outside of Cognito. You're the Destiny, I would say, panel expert here. What are your thoughts, man?
All right, so this is something that I think a lot of people were talking about when they say Google and Stadia needed to have that killer IP that would bring attention to it. Me personally, this is what I think they should do.
Okay.
We don't know what they're going to do around the pricing model of it just yet. We'll find that out very, very soon. But Destiny is a game, like you said, it's a long running franchise. I think the base game of Destiny should be something that they just give to people that signed up for Stadia. Give you the ability to run around this world, do all the little things you can do in the game to level yourself up to get to that level 30 cap, and then allow you to give, you want to jump into that premium version of Stadia. It comes with it gives you the whole kit and caboodle of the game. They already do that to an extent where they allow you level up to level 20 in the base game before. I don't know if they do it in Destiny 2, they did in the Destiny 1, but in Destiny 2, the game is at this point is 2 years old. Give that free version away just to get people into the world of Destiny. That is what they need to do. And if that is something that they can really nail with just and not just on Stadia, just on every platform, I think they should do that for. But just the fact that you'll be able to boot Destiny up on a browser, and enjoy what I was able to enjoy, 60 frames per second on a PC. Oh man, it's crazy. Now, when it comes to crossplay, cross save, I'm gonna come at this from a person that Cognito knows, came from console, with the PC, leveled the character all the way up to 700, then went back to freaking console because all my friends was over there and I was missing all 3 of my characters. It is a grind, and you're talking to a person. I have all the DLC on Xbox, all the DLC on PC, and I have all the DLC on PS4 too. I own that game on all 3 platforms already, and I only have a total of 5 Guardians, and 3 of them are on Xbox and 1 on PlayStation, 1 on PC. This is something that we've been asking for since Destiny 1. What will this game look like in a world where there is no walls, there's no barrier? You can do whatever you want to do and play with whoever you want to play with. Now, would it be even better to have cross play? Yes, but guess what? This is the next best. This is actually probably better. This is better. I feel like if this happens, I will abandon my Xbox account. Well, not abandon my account, but I will take my Xbox account, and you will always see me on PC. That's exactly where I will play at, because it's no reason to play this game on console, with the exception that I have to come back and forth, which would be something I can do now to play with people on Xbox that don't have the ability to play it on PC, which I would still do. But I will wholeheartedly not put it this way. If this happened, there's no reason for me to own an Xbox anymore, because this game, the one thing that this game does, and anybody that's got those hooks stuck in them will realize, it's already too much stuff to do in Destiny as it is. In a week, you can't do everything. Can you imagine trying to do that and play with different people on different consoles during a week? During 1 week.
And on the back end, on the clan feature, that stuff has been there. If you were part of a clan on Xbox or whatever, and you came over to PC, you could bring it. So that stuff always existed on the back end. I want to go back to a point you made, Forte, is really good in reference to how Stadia attacks, as far as the pricing model, or Destiny. Like if they do what you said, which is point of entry is Destiny 2 vanilla, everybody free, and then you become like, all you got to do is buy, like, say, for example, Forsaken or the annual pass or whatever. That's the play, because that was actually what made me go to PC. Literally, what happened is I was resistant, and Vonsis was like, "Yo, there's no excuse now." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Boom, it's Destiny's free for PC, base vanilla." I'm like, "Really?" You know what I'm saying? So at the time, I was building my rig, and I'm like, "All right, it made sense." And then I just got the DLC. So that's how you really get that player base. I wonder if Bungie and Google, these guys, would do that, as far as like a point of entry, like what Forte said. Like you just say, hey, vanilla, the base vanilla is free for everybody, just so you can get more people in that ecosystem. That would be crazy.
Because I think once people get in there, they can't get out. I mean, think people like the Asher Luca that never played Destiny as much as she did up to this point. She can't play anything else, to the point right now she refuses to play games, because if she ain't played Destiny, she's just not playing a game right now. And that's how I find myself sometimes. It's like I'm really excited for what Microsoft's going to show at E3. I'm so excited about the future of what these games are going to be. But if I'm a realist and I think about what I enjoy, this is it. Yeah. And they gave this will give me a reason to just never stop playing this game. Yeah. Because there's just too much to do with people that I never experienced it with. Like I've never played Destiny with B. I never played it with E. I mean, there's people that I've never played with on PC that I would love to be able to go into it competently with characters that I know I have weapons for, that I don't have to worry about, because I don't have to grind for that stuff no more. You can play the game the way you want to play it. And I just think that is a huge move. And this is something that, as soon as I saw it, I had to ask myself, is this real? That's why if you look at the trend that me and Cognito was in, you got people all the way from Neo Mento to Fonz all saying, is this real? Is this real? Because this is something that everybody that played Destiny really, really would love. And this would you talk about instant bring the player base back. This would do it.
This instantly. Is a That's the thing, because they were losing a little steam, and we know Division is out here moving. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, they doing this thing, but this is the kind of move that, like, all eyes are back on Destiny. Like that immediately satisfy everybody in community and bring them to galvanize the base. It would be insane.
Well, I said it's the kind of game that makes sense for the Stadia platform and what Google's trying to accomplish with, having games on the fly. I mean, this is the kind of game. We talk about that addictive nature of Destiny and that grind that Forte was talking about. This is the perfect game for that platform to do that. To get people hooked into Stadia with, like, damn, now I can play Destiny on the fly. Now I got cross, I can play it on my Xbox. I can, use cross saves, cross progression. This is, I'm telling you guys, when I read this, I'm like, this is huge. And Jason Schreier, who's kind of been iffy on Stadia, I think he even said, like, wow, yeah, I could see myself playing.
Yes, I've seen people on the fence that were like, "Yo, I would at least attempt it." You know what I'm saying?
I do want to go to live chat real quick. D. Already Spartan God said it's good, but Lugal has to face someone established in Sony and Microsoft to have shit ready and are building up and have a better cloud service than Google. Google's up there in terms of their cloud services. I think it's Microsoft, Amazon, and I would presume Google in that order.
Right.
So I wouldn't say that Google isn't capable to compete with Microsoft. I mean, they have a pretty vast network infrastructure. Yes, thank you. But the other thing too, and distracted by OLED said this, assuming you have a good and steady connection. And I think that's like the big F.
Yeah.
Is the latency going to be an issue? How are they going to overcome some of these, connection issues? And, we've had some people who played Assassin's Creed, have had, one type of experience where the game didn't necessarily play well. I know Slow-Mo Backslap, who played it, said it didn't really play well on his computer. And I think when we had who was it from Iron Lords that played it? Lord Sovereign. Yes. I think Sovereign played it and said that he had a good experience with it.
Yeah, he had an amazing experience. I just want to jump in one thing on the comment is that also another key is going to be just on the streaming aspect. If Google dropped the bag off on streaming exclusivity,
I don't think they did. And I will tell you, and you know what? It's funny that you say that because there was a tweet by Deej, and Deej is very, very charismatic with his tweets.
I know what you're gonna go with. I saw that too.
Very charismatic with his tweets. There was this man when he tweeted. First of all, everybody knows Destiny. If you play it, they only stream on Twitch. Only on Twitch.
Where you saw those tweets at?
I saw that tweet. My boy Cognito retweeted it out, and I saw it. I was like, wait a minute. It was Google. Who owns it? So where's Google? Google Stadia, and it was also Mixer. And we also remember a while ago when Phil Spencer congratulated Bungie about being, going off by themselves. He was looking forward to working with them in the future, and people were like, "What do you mean working with you in the future? Are you trying to buy Bungie back?" No, I think they were trying to set this up. And what did Phil also say? He was enjoying playing Destiny while he was in Japan on xCloud. So I guarantee you this is going to be both places. And the fact that when you go to the tweet, you see the Mixer icon prominently on the screen. That lets you know, man. And when I saw that, I was like, yep, it's going to be a situation where they're going to be streamable everywhere. There might be a little bit more stuff involved with Google at first, but it's going to be there for xCloud too as well. I think
so too, because it's funny you said, like, literally, that's why I was so heartbroken. The damn stream died on IOP on Sunday because we were going
to talk about it. Yeah,
that was my hot take because I'm sitting there and I'm putting the pieces together, and Forte, I'm on it. And I'm just like, bro, it makes sense because we know how much Phil is a Destiny fan. He's been testing xCloud remotely in Japan, playing it. And from what I'm hearing, from all results, I mean, people are very, very impressed with the tech. So, like I said, all the stuff seems to be lining up, and I knew if they're at E3, it's like, because we know prior when they had the exclusivity deal, they would only be on the Sony stage. You know Sony's not there this year. So it's like, okay, what the hell are you there for? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's just a DLC, you don't need to be there with Jeff Keighley. And then like Forte said, I saw the tweet from Deej. I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all only stream on Twitch. Since when y'all, you know what I'm saying?
Never streamed anywhere else.
I'm like, okay. So Deej is he is one of the best community man. The man is very cryptic. He's an expert at what he does. So it's like, I wouldn't be surprised. I think you're right. I don't think it is. It would be interesting to see if Google did try to limit it, but I agree. I think it's going to be a situation where they're going to want the most penetration possible as far as that streaming. And I can see it on the Stadia, on an xCloud. And my other thing, which I got cut off, which was like, I wouldn't be surprised if, maybe Phil did drop off a marketing deal bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they just showcase, because we know it leaked already, Shadow Keep. That's the new DLC that's going to be in September where cross-play and all this stuff's going to happen. And contractually, at that point, they can promote the next DLC. I wouldn't be surprised, man. Your boy Cox, you heard it first. If we see a little, Destiny trailer on E3 on Microsoft stage, they're gonna have third-party stuff. So we'll see. That's one of my theories.
And this is the conversation that Cognito, shout out to Ibanez on the last where they had this conversation like a couple months ago. What do you want? Do you want them to hold off and wait for D3, or do you want to have a new DLC that's going to galvanize everybody and keep the name Destiny in everybody's thought process? Well, this cross-play, cross-save, this is one way you can do it. The second way you can do it is give somebody a DLC on the size of the Rise of Iron. And if you do that, people will give you all the time you need, because guess what? I'll be too busy playing Destiny on 3 different platforms to care about it.
Facts.
It's interesting. We have some folks that have a difference of opinion, which is fine in the live chat. We have hope I'm pronouncing this right. Elika Speaks. He says, tell us why we would pay Google for fewer games, servers and no hardware backup. The Almighty Spartan God says that Google doesn't stand a chance. So
We don't know that though. We don't know anything about what they're doing until it's actually. We don't know. First, you can't talk about price and what it's going to be because we don't even know what the pay structure of this is going to be. We don't know anything like that. We also don't know is there. I mean, yes, there's no hardware backup to it, but is it? It's meant to be a barrier of entry just for the people that want that as an option. We always talk about in this community, options are good. Yes. Why isn't this a good option for people that it is good for? People need to stop putting their own thoughts and their own feedback of what they want into the conversation. It's not what you want, it's what they feel is an option for people that can't afford to go out and spend $1,500 on a PC to run Destiny at 60 frames per second and have beautiful visuals like we get on Xbox, you know, and that's still a $500 system. Most people could just boot up their laptop, turn on their tablet or even their notebook that has Google on it and be able to enjoy games at a fidelity that only people before could do it at a $6,000 or $3,000 price point. And that is good. That is great for gaming. The more people that enjoy these games, the better we are off. We get better games because people are enjoying the games that are being made, meaning those people will make more games to give us better experiences.
Yeah. That's a great point, man. You know, and actually there's another game that's tied to Stadia.
Yes.
Ghost Recon Breaking Point.
I mean, all of it.
Yeah, I mean, so that's another game. I mean, that's a pretty big and actually I'm actually looking for that Ghost Recon game, Breakpoint.
Yeah.
You know, it's another game that fits that, I think, platform well, you know, and if it has cross save, cross progression, I think that's a win for Stadia. I do want to go back to the live chat because it's interesting. And by the way, I appreciate all the comments in the live chat, but the Almighty Spartan God says if Microsoft has a better infrastructure, how does Google stand a chance?
Here's the thing. We got to look at it also from a competitive standpoint, right? You want them to be pushed. You know what I'm saying? Even if Microsoft has better technology, right? You want Google to be in the mix because it's going to push Microsoft to whatever. If again, let's just say the pricing structure is really good, or like what Forte said, where it's like, you know, free for the entry for Destiny or whatever. You just want things in that new streaming's a new space, right? We don't know how this thing's gonna play. Right. But if you got somebody out here aggressive saying, yo, this is what we're doing, this is how we doing it, Microsoft's going to have to in turn match. And as a consumer, we benefit. That's all I'm saying. And from what we see, it doesn't look like it's going to be locked out. But if they stay aggressive they almost remind me of like the Epic Store in the streaming space. Like,
yeah, I was thinking about that same exact thing, bro. Same exact thing.
Streaming is this wild west that everybody's trying to, you know, put their little flag down and they got the bag and they got the infrastructure. You know what I'm saying? So this is fun. Just look at it from a competitive standpoint. I hear where the chat's come in. We do know Azure is the superior service. We get that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm very curious now with them in this space, how things gonna play. Like,
exactly. And we don't know. I mean, like, you know, Google could surprise us with Stadia, and they could drop and they could put out this network that works really well. Or hey, you know what? Or on the flip side, they could poo-poo it, and we find out that xCloud is a superior service. The point of the matter is we don't know.
We don't know.
What happens if xCloud has the superior service, but Google has the features?
Right. That's that's
a great point. Yeah.
So I don't mind if Google doesn't have like the infrastructure that Microsoft has, because guess what? What did Microsoft have to do this generation? They had the better system when it comes to the Xbox One X, but they still had to bend that knee to PlayStation. And guess what? PlayStation has made them change a lot of the stuff they did this generation. They became more of they went to the whole service platform. They also are doubling down on giving people options. We didn't have options coming into this generation. PlayStation, being as good as they are, made this become a situation like that. So even if Google isn't as good as the xCloud, it's going to do is just make each other better. And what we see this year with these services, or next year when they finally all come out, it's going to be completely different 3 years from now. And then the conversation is going to be something completely different. And it's not going to be around which one's going to survive, because I think they're both going to do well. You know, that's going to happen regardless.
Yeah,
I gotta go to the live chat. I don't know why y'all want to mess with me. I'm saved.
I'm saved.
Yeah,
You got your holy water out.
I do. Yeah, but Elkins Speak says Enrique spent years telling us exclusives are all that matters. Now he's hyping multiplats.
Oh man.
Well, let me just say something real quick. Exclusives do matter. I've never said they don't matter. What I'm referring to in the context of Stadia is that having these multiplats is big for that platform, because if you look, they don't have any exclusives right now, and their service offers a different type of experience as of right now that no one else is offering. And talk about cross save, cross progression, some of the features that Stadia is implementing, with being able to play with some of your favorite streamers. You know, you can imagine, playing Destiny with somebody that you watch stream Destiny. You can play with them on the fly. Or
remember those features was the YouTuber integration.
Yes.
Could you imagine? Oh, I'm playing with Dado tonight, Forte. Like it's a lot of things feature wise. I just want to cut you 1 second, Brad, because your chat is lit right now. I love your chat. Yujiro and the truth. All right, it's people saying like they don't like the console-less future. I get that. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, that aspect just might not be for you. And that's the advantage xCloud may have, because they're still giving you the traditional way to play. You know what I'm saying? But for some, there's going to be people that's going to say, yo, I don't want to buy a $500 console. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do all that. If you're telling me I can do it from my phone, or I could do it from my browser, and let's say Stadia has some specific features, because they had a lot of features at that conference. They had a lot of features. I said theoretically that sounded really cool.
Sure.
And if they were able to implement that with games that you love, I can see a base like that Fortnite generation latching on to something like that, and like the hell with the box. You know what I'm saying? Like I can play it this way. There are going to be some people, it may not be for us, and that's why I think you made a good point, and Eric made a good point. Like we have to get our mindset out of just us, the hardcore, because we know what we gonna do. Right.
But here's the thing, how this stuff isn't, at the end of the day, it's not for us.
Yeah, it's not for us.
It is for the future generation of gamers. Like, look, I'm pushing 42. Well, actually, I'm 42. And I have 4 kids, and how my kids game. And you mentioned the Fortnite generation, by the way. I think this is a great point. Their expectation in terms of gaming, access to entertainment, access to their friends, is not the same as how we grew up. When I wanted to see my friends, what I have to do? Pick up the phone and call them, right? Or I'd have to go over their house to see them. Not today.
Yeah.
You could do an iChat, or go on Facebook. Oh boy, OBJ did not. Okay.
Our stream is in the middle. OBJ, what's going on, family?
Dr. Trash is here. He's talking trash. Yeah.
I keep telling OBJ that's the future, man. He's gonna get sucked in. He's gonna love it. It's gonna happen, OBJ. You are gonna love it. But I keep saying it's not for us. It's not for it's for the future gamers, because their expectation is going to be, well, why can't I play this game anywhere I go? I played Fortnite everywhere I went.
Yep.
Why do I have to be tied to my house? Why do I got to pay $500 for a console when I'm playing all these games on my phone? Or why do I have to do all this? Why do I need cable when I have all these apps on my television now?
Facts.
You know what the funny thing is about that? Everybody used to be the same way about cable TV.
Facts.
Everybody was.
Forte.
There was a point in time.
Forte. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to say this one point.
Go ahead.
Many years ago, there's a famous story of cable television, when the idea of cable was proposed. And the people who were behind cable said, one day people will pay to watch the Super Bowl. And the naysayers had laughed. No fucking way that's going to happen. No way. And what are we doing today? Paying for the Super Bowl. I'm sorry for it. I didn't want to, but I just want to share that story because I kind of saw where you're going. But go ahead, man.
No, yeah, but that's the biggest thing. Just like you said, people will adapt to the things that they want to adapt to. And even now with a lot of people cut the cord now, but guess what? You cut the cord because it became viable for you to do that because you were able to get your media a different way. Before that wasn't even an option. You would be like, heck no, I'm not going to pay for different services like Netflix and all this other stuff, you know, and I'm just going to stick with the stuff I have, but times have changed. But people need to realize is when it comes to these streaming services, they're never going to take off until, I mean, you're not going to see 100% or even 50 to 70% adoption rate into streaming becomes, if it has to come online or even better than what native hardware is in your house.
Right.
When that happens, then you will see this pretty much take over. And it really comes down to the people that are in this podcast right now, the people in the chat. Trust me, the moment you can play a game and get the same experience you get on a $500 system or a $2,000 computer, you telling me you're going to go out and spend $2,000 and you ain't got to?
That's a good point.
If the performance is there, you are going to buy in. That's all it comes down. That's why we all keep saying, wait to see what the performance looks like first.
Right.
Yes, it's not going to be viable right now. We already know that the infrastructure sucks in this country. But guess what? One day that will happen. And when it does, nobody, I wish we could take receipts and we all be around now. Because all the people saying this now, if you are a gamer and you keep saying, like OBJ, he says he's a gamer and he said he will die on his bed with a controller in his hand and not be playing on no digital console. He will continue to play on a digital console if it is there for you to do it and it's viable. Until that moment, this won't be the number one thing for even us. But trust me, it's coming. It's an option for now. True, but sooner or later, this will become the norm, and everybody will buy into it. Sooner or later, it will happen.
OBJ to Don, he suffers from acceptance lag. He still wears a pager.
Oh man, I'm just an acceptance of just the future. I know what's going to happen.
So here's what OBJ said. The moment your internet goes out. Shit, you could be playing Destiny right now on your Xbox console, and it goes out. You're screwed anyway. We are so tied to the internet now. You know, I went to an ATM the other day. Guess what? The network was down. I couldn't make a deposit. Right? I mean, we're so tied to the internet. We like that's like that old mindset thinking. Like, well, what if the internet goes down? That's for every situation now, pretty much.
Let me ask you: how many of y'all in here game share with somebody?
I don't.
I do.
Okay, Cognito. If your internet goes out today. What happens with your gaming library?
Can't access.
Because you're game sharing, right? How many people, I hear people I always hear in these podcasts, man, I'm game sharing with such and such, and I'll be able to play my games. But guess what? Y'all don't think about that. Right now, if your internet goes out, you can't play none of your games.
You're helpless. I mean, it's a good point. It's a good point. And I get it. It's just, people also have to think too, it's like, people are like, why is the industry doing this? Like, nobody really wants this kind of thing. But you got to understand.
It's not about us.
It's not about us. These companies are privy to a lot of these advancements in tech way ahead of time. Like, I know, Brap, you've been on it with the 5G, right? So it's like,
by the way, have you seen the speed test for 5G?
That's what I'm saying.
Have you seen the speed test for 5G?
Shout out to Tim Dog. We had him on LP. Shout out to Tom Warren. And I'm sitting there looking at the speeds this man is getting on his phone on a train. And I'm like, yo, he out here rocking my Fios to sleep.
Right.
And I'm like, you on a moving train? So there's no doubt. Like, again, if the tech is there and if the infrastructure finally gets to that point, again, it could be 5 years, 10 years. Who knows when we get to that point where we have that saturation, right? But when we get there, this is an option. Forte's making a good point that people are not going to refuse if it's in hand and the performance is there, right? You're not going to refuse. You're not going to say, no, I am not going to play this on this device or wherever I'm at with this type of speed and this type of fidelity if it's the same. So I think it's something that, again, these companies have access to. They're seeing it. It's no coincidence Sony's going in this direction. There's no coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Now, people may not like Stadia's console without the console aspect. I can understand people say, hey, I still want my console. I don't like that they're being so aggressive anti-console, anti-hardware. I get that, but you still got Sony, you still got Microsoft for the traditional experiences. If you still want them, they're not going to abandon them.
Yeah, but these people, they act like this isn't something new. Like they are, most of these people probably subscribe to the fact that most of their games are digital.
Yes.
What happens if the server goes down and you can't play those games?
That was my point about the internet. Like,
they're on a server. Like we talk, and it's the thing. We say we want to have physical systems. Well, what about physical games? You know, most people, if you are this hard up on wanting to have ownership and have that thing in your house, why are you buying digital games? You know, those games you don't own, they're not tied. They're just tied to an account that you signed up through on another manufacturer's website that they basically have full control over. Right. So ultimately, you have acquiesced to the point that the games that I'm going to buy just
you
for
say acquiesce.
Acquiesce. You're going to acquiesce to a decision that I just want to have peace of mind and not have to go to a store and buy my games because of the convenience factor that it gives me to just download the game. Trust me, the system is going to turn into the same thing because we basically told everybody that we don't have to have physical media. So the next step is we don't have to have physical gate systems in our house too. That's where we're basically telling developers, the industry, all these different manufacturers of these systems where we want this to go. And if you don't want that to happen, then stop supporting the things that's going to help it happen faster than you want it to happen.
You know what's interesting? I always find it fascinating with this topic where, and I'm not saying you're wrong for feeling this way. I don't want anyone to think that. But I always find it fascinating when people are like, I don't want this future. No gamer should want this. And I'm like, but if it works, why wouldn't you want it? You're eliminating a price barrier, an entry barrier of $400 to $500 that you can use towards buying more games. And if it works, why wouldn't you want that?
Well, in fairness to the people who don't want it, we still got a lot of things they still have to get through. We still have to get through the throttling, right? We still have to get through the ISPs and carriers and stuff.
Right.
Like
That's why this presidential election is very key. By the way, we got to elect someone who's going to repeal or bring back net neutrality.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's still some hurdles here. I'm not going to act like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's going to be people that they don't want to be. There's going to be people who are going to say, look, I'm never going to be in a situation. Like I think about people who, like, I'm a Switch owner, right? And they're like, yo, the portability does not excite me. I play my console at home. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like that for me, it's the opposite. Like I'm traveling, so the Switch is super appealing to me. Right. But there's always going to be that contingent and they're going to have to still exist. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with Sony with the used games and stuff like that. When Microsoft got a little ultra aggressive with the digital stuff, in the beginning and DRM and stuff like that in the beginning, Sony's like, look, you can trade your games here. You know what I'm saying? There's still going to be that contingent. But to Forte's point, over time, as performance gets better, that gets smaller and smaller and smaller. That's a reality. You know what I'm saying? Especially if the tech is there and the performance is there.
People's data caps ain't getting in the way now with all the people downloading games. Trust me, it will just get better later on.
Right.
And by the way, T-Mobile's already come out and said we're not throttling anyone with 5G. We're not capping how much data you use. And to me, they're the disruptor in the mobile industry. And look, they're already offering cable television, by the way. So you think about, so you have telecom companies now that see the value of 5G. Verizon has already launched 5G at the house. And some of those download speeds are up about 700 megabytes.
Right. But OBJ, he says you can't preach options and then look forward to getting rid of one. All right, so
tell him to get rid of his pager.
Let me tell you something, OBJ. I agree. You are absolutely right. You can't preach about something that you want to get rid of one day, but guess what? This is going to happen only when the people like you start accepting it. The more and more people that accept this going forward, and the better and better the hardware, well, not the hardware, the actual infrastructure gets, and more people start saying, hey, why do I need to spend $400 on the system and I'm getting the same performance on basically thin air? Why would I go out and spend money?
But here's the thing, Forte, it doesn't even have to, and this is gonna, some people are gonna think I'm crazy saying this. It doesn't have to be a 1-to-1. Right. All it has to be is close. And I say close because if you look at when you stream 4K, I don't care. Anyway, it says 4K on a disc still looks better than 4K streaming. And the audio is better too. But you know what? Most people are okay with streaming because it still looks good.
Yeah, most people don't even care to that level of fidelity. We as hardcore gamers care. Like for the hardcore, we like, yo, we want our Atmos, we want that 4K, we want that HDR. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And for us, that will always be that joint. But again, I'm thinking about the other generation. I call them the Fortnite generation, right?
The other Fortnite generation, yeah.
They don't care about none of that stuff, son. I'll be seeing my little cousins and I'll be like, damn, that game don't even look that good. And y'all rocking it. I mean, I don't get it. Like, B, I know you got
kids. B, are you seeing that with your kids, man?
Yeah, my kids don't care about none of that, man. My kids still play Fortnite to this day.
Yeah, I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, y'all liking that, but okay. But it's not. I realize it's not about me. It's like the same thing with hip hop and music. Like a lot of this is mumble rap to me. It's not about me, but it's popping. You know
my daughter has Mortal Kombat on Xbox and on Xbox One X, and she wanted it for her Switch when she goes off and plays. And guess she's never said one thing about, oh wow, the Xbox version looks way better. Guess what she does? She just pops in Mortal Kombat on her Switch and she plays it just like she's playing on her Xbox and never said one word about the fidelity difference of the game.
Because she's having fun. She can play it on the fly. She sees the value of being able. That's the genius behind the Switch.
It is
fun.
Oh yeah!
Welcome, brother.
Welcome. Yes.
Woo! What's going on, gentlemen? How is everything?
Oh man!
This party just got started. What's up?
Oh man! Let's
go. I can't stay too long. I got about 30 minutes to spare, but I saw I was just finished actually watching some because my wife and I watch movies every night. We just finished up the series Slasher on what do you call it? On Netflix. Really, really good if you like those like campy whodunit murder kind of things. Really good. But I wanted to pop on for a bit because I was in the chat for a bit and I saw the link. I said, you know what, let me come here for 30 minutes and let me talk some stuff with these gentlemen gamers on this podcast.
Yes, sir. You are always welcome here, sir.
Man, right here.
Yeah, well, Boom, it's funny. I first of all, I thoroughly enjoyed podcasting with you this afternoon.
Oh, that was great. It was a lot of fun, dude. We had one knucklehead, one guy, and of course I shut him down because I went to Twitter and I said, listen here, I'm almost at 11 days. I'm not at 10 days.
Yeah, somebody challenged me. Like, you actually played what game was it?
Rage 2.
Rage 2. You actually played it for 10 days.
Yeah, all I said is, again, I got like 10 days. I guess I got 10 days in Rage 2, and the guy, he wrote to me, and it was lower caps, and then he started doing with like all caps, and he's doing multiple times, and I'm like, I had to stop the show. I'm like, dude, listen. If you want to see my stats, go look at my 250,000 gamer score, Mr. Boomstick XL. I've been with Xbox Live for 15 years.
Ooh, talk that talk, Paul.
You know what I'm saying? So he wound up having to get blocked, and he wound up to get banned because he was being belligerent. And I did it anyway. And of course, most people were like kind of like for me. And I have a couple knuckleheads like, I don't understand why you're challenging him. I'm like, I'm not actually challenging him. He's kind of being a jerk, and I think I'm the most inviting dude that does this stuff.
I would have been. See, Boom's better than me because I would have, as this conversation was happening, I would have like shared my screen, went on my Xbox, and just let it sit on my achievement screen for the rest of the show.
Yeah, you know what? It's okay. I mean, listen, listen. The thing is this: because of my prior job, not everyone is going to like you, regardless of, you could be the nicest dude in the world, nicest guy in the room, and there's always going to be somebody. So you know what you do? You let it roll off your back like a duck with water. Yeah, that's how, let me tell you something. I know it has nothing to do with the show, but in my entire 21-year career, I can count on one hand, guys, how many times I had to roll with someone.
Yeah.
One hand in 21 years. You know why? Yeah. Because people, you meet them, they say some terrible things, they go, and you never see them again for the most part. So you know what? That's how you have to handle podcasting. But enough about nonsense. Let's talk about games.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
I heard you talking about the Switch, and let me tell you something. I don't know how deep you're into this conversation, but he he made a really good point. Says his daughter who plays could care less what the graphical fidelity is. And you know something? You follow that that's the genius thing about the Nintendo Switch. And I got news for you folks, okay? If you thought the sales numbers for the Switch were done, I am here to tell you that in July, when Marvel Ultimate Alliance comes out, that is going to sell millions of consoles. And why is that? Well, let's see. MCU, hot as a brand new piece of toast out the toaster oven, right? And on top of that, it's the perfect pick up and go game. Kids will be playing it. They love the Hulk. They love Spider-Man. Spider-Man Far From Home comes out when? This month. When does this game come out? In July. And then to make matters even more crazy for Nintendo, anyone that owns stock, I wish I was your friend in your pocket. In November, they're releasing I think it's the 15th, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Come on, man. Listen.
That would be the day that the premonition I had will come true. I tell all my guests that walk in the store, you're gonna buy a second Switch.
You're gonna have to.
I know I don't need a second Switch.
No.
You will buy a second Switch because it's basically a 3DS. 3DS is only costs $50 less than the Switch cost now when they first launched. Yeah. And everybody will get to a point where this system will become 2, 3, maybe even 4 deep in your house.
I know people that have 2 systems minimum now.
I have 3 in my house.
So there you go. So
hey guys, real quick, I want to go to the live chat here. Big shout out to James Jr. Much appreciated. The $1.99 super chat, man. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, man.
I just put it in the chat because I know y'all talking that Marvel Alliance IOP. We got a giveaway, man. If you guys want to get that Ultimate Alliance 3 for Switch for free, man, this is the time.
I might have enter that competition or that.
There, man. We give it away, man. And I agree with Boom, man. That is a huge. I know a lot of people that still don't have a Switch.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Like, this might be the game. I'm gonna have to do it, man. I get exclusive, and Team Ninja's doing it. It's looking good, man. It's looking good.
I gotta tell you, the way they've been showing off that game, it's like fishing, man. They kind of just threw the lure out there. They didn't put any bait. It's real shiny. They're kind of just pulling it along. And people, do you see the download numbers for when they post these videos? It's like crazy.
It's nuts, yeah.
So I mean, again, you look at it. First of all, I would love to know a couple of things on this deal. First of all, how in good graciousness did Nintendo go to Marvel and say, hey, listen, this Marvel Ultimate Alliance thing that you've been hanging around with, we want to make a sequel. Let's sign a deal. And how did they get Team Ninja to do it? Like, oh my God, it's like easy.
Big, hey, man, people think Nintendo don't got that bag.
Facts.
Nintendo got the bag.
Yeah, they do.
They always have, and they've always had these strategic, games that they choose to make, exclusives on their platform, and this time this just happens to be one of them. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see something else during their E3 presentation.
I'm going to call it now. I'm going to call this right now. I called it last year. It didn't happen. I am telling you what's going to happen because I've already envisioned it. I'm not a psychic by any stretch of the truth. I'm going to call it like this. Okay. First of all, before I tell you the clues, I'm going to call it. Phil Spencer is walking out during the live Treehouse event, and he's going to announce that Banjo-Kazooie is going to be the next DLC character. So now you say, well, Boom, wait a second. How do you figure this craziness out? Well, you know what? Not a friend. I've talked with him, privately, on through Twitter. And I only mentioned him, I think, once, but he is a very popular dude. Shinobi 602 was on Reset Era, and he said something extremely interesting. Now, if you look at his track record, when he makes these, he doesn't do it a lot, but when he does it, he has been on the money. And I'm talking about like some big time, he talked about Mass Effect Andromeda before it came out. He was right. Quite a few others. He said, it's been a long time since we've seen Banjo. I'm hoping for a smashing good time. I'm telling you, brother, Phil Spencer's going to walk out there holding hands with the head of Nintendo with Bowser, and they're going to put their hands up in the air like partners, and they're going to say Banjo-Kazooie. And here's the thing that's very interesting about this, okay? If you put Banjo-Kazooie, this is where my detective brain comes in, okay?
That New York City finest talk.
They put this very popular, ultra cool character in Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers is I got news for you. That game to consoles is nearly 1-to-1. There's no doubt about it. And of course, Forte can tell you that because everyone he knows comes in to buy Switch. They get Mario Odyssey, they get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and they get and Smash Brothers, right, or something in that order.
I don't let people leave my store unless they buy Mario Kart 8.
Well, there you go. So, but just imagine this: these players on the Nintendo are going to see this and say, "This Banjo-Kazooie is going to be great." I am telling you right now, from the rumors that I've been hearing, and I've been getting tips left and right. Banjo-Kazooie is getting announced on stage at Microsoft's show. So this is gonna be one of those double-edged sword things, because you see, if they can get and then this is Phil Dominus working his magic, right? That big brain of his. He figures, well, if we can get cool with Nintendo, which they've been, and they get Banjo-Kazooie on Smash Brothers, those Smash players may see this Banjo-Kazooie and say, we really like this. Well, wait a second. The Xbox has a new Banjo-Kazooie. Well, we're gonna have to get ourselves an Xbox if we don't have one.
Like a form of cross promotion.
Listen, listen, Microsoft, if you're listening, I could use a job. I could work. I will promise I will make Microsoft great again.
Woo! That's so cool.
That is funny. Yeah, you know, and Boom, you bring up a good point with Shinobi. When Shinobi drops nuggets, his track record's pretty strong. I mean, he's strong. Yeah,
he doesn't do it often. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you have to really take this with some legitimacy, because he doesn't do it and he's wrong and he's like, yeah, whatever. He does it, and every time he's done it, and like I said, he doesn't do it often, he is right on the spot.
Yeah. Distracted by OLED says, I heard Throat Baby will be a character in Smash Brothers. Wow. How would that work? I wonder. That's interesting, but
that would be maybe it's going to come out in a bottle or something. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those, the collectibles or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Boom, while we have you on, man, I know you're on borrowed time here. I kind of want to get into some other E3 related topics that we have. We talked about Destiny 2, the news of Destiny 2 being on Stadia. But I want to get into Microsoft's show, because that's kind of, they're going to have the limelight, I think, with. So obviously with Sony not being there on Sunday, and we've heard about 14 new games. I think Brad Sampson has said there's going to be 3 new IPs there.
Yes.
And you're going to be at E3 this year.
Yes. With my man right over here, Cognito and company.
Fly out Friday, baby. Meet you at the airport, brother.
That's right. I'll be there.
So I mean, I think a lot of the 14 games, I think we probably know. We know what they are. The show's going to be under 2 hours. I don't think it's any secret that we're going to probably see something similar to what they did when they unveiled Scorpio, with Anaconda and Lockhart. We'll probably see something like that. They'll talk about xCloud. I guess from a fan perspective, like, what do you guys want to see? And I'll throw this out to you first, Boom, since you are on borrowed time. What do you want to see, man? Like, what? For you, like, what would constitute like Microsoft having a
killer show?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this. Like I said, of course, everyone that knows me knows that I'm an old school cat, and I always appreciate my heritage. And what I mean by that is, you look back to the old G Xbox, right? The fat back, as some people like to call it. The Duke, where you needed 3 hands to hold that controller. They had a ton of IPs that have been kind of just hanging around. And we've heard rumors of a Perfect Dark revival, a reboot. We've heard Mech Assault reboot. We've heard Crimson Skies, a smaller arcade version of that possibly coming out. I've heard since last year that they're currently working with Team Ninja to bring an exclusive Ninja Gaiden reboot back to the Xbox. I still think that's one of the companies they bought, to be honest with you. I call it right now. I think we're going to get 3 announcements, or maybe we'll get 3, maybe we'll get 5. But I think, for me personally, there are 2 games, and you can like them, you can dislike them. That's fine. For me, what would get me to literally fall back in my chair in excitement is to see a proper Killer Instinct 2. I've been banging this drum for months. I think it's time. I think that the game still looks amazing, and it is one of my favorite fighting games of all time. It's well deserving. Fighting games have come back in a big way, and I'd love to see a proper Killer Instinct 2. And again, I'll go right back to what I talked about. I need, for me personally, because I grew up with platformers, I want a proper reboot or a new Banjo-Kazooie. I really, really do. And that would get me out of my chair, no doubt about it. And like I said, I think that the cherry on top of everything, of those 14 games, you see, remember how Brad Sam said there are 3 new IPs. So we're going to get 3 new IPs, but that doesn't necessarily mean that some of the other announcements aren't going to be new games, like a new Banjo-Kazooie, like a Killer Instinct 2, because those games are already IPs.
Good point. Yeah.
So that's really what I want, and I want them to double down with this buying studios thing. I really want them to go in there and pick up another 3 studios, so some of your older IPs can be made by some of these newer purchases, where they don't need to be, a $1 billion game. It doesn't have to be. If you can round out your portfolio with single A, double A, and of course your banger triple A's. I think that's what they need. But the Phil, let me tell you something. If this didn't have any relevance, Phil would have never come out and said we're going to be showing 14 Microsoft games. That whole 14-0 thing has literally taken over the internet.
Yeah, man, I see it out there. It's a good list, man. It's a good list, man. I mean, I know for me, Brad, if I could jump in.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Like, Boom saying some stuff. I think this is, for me, I think they're going to be solid. What would take it over the top for me, where I'd be like, yo, this is a great show. I think if one of those new IPs turns out to be, I think they need to take a little bit of the Sony playbook, where you need that exclusive IP that kind of has that cinematic story based, where it doesn't necessarily have a multiplayer, right? But it's like grounded in a story kind of feel, or gritty kind of feel. I don't know if Fable is going to be that. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? So if they got one IP that tackles that doesn't necessarily rely on multiplayer, because we know that's Microsoft's bag, right? Everything seems to be multiplayer, cooperative experience. They do that well. But I need a story-based cinematic IP from them. That'll get me excited. 2 probably be, I go front. I would like to see either Bowser or some type of Nintendo announcement where Phil and an executive come on stage, and maybe they either preface it or introduce like the Game Pass thing. Again, we do know that Nintendo and Microsoft has been in talks. At some point, we don't know if it's going to be the Game Pass thing, but if we can get Nintendo on stage in some capacity, that would kind of break the internet. You know what I'm saying? I think that
I got one better for you. So Shady said something on today's show. I don't know if it was on the air or was off the air. I think it might have been pregame, but he said something that completely just warped my brain. He said, "Could you imagine if someone from Nintendo walks out, right, and they announced that Banjo-Kazooie is coming to Smash Brothers, right? And like, oh my God, that's so great, Banjo-Kazooie back." And then he says, I'm going to take it a step further, Boom. Could you imagine if they announced that Smash Brothers is coming to the Xbox One?
Whoa.
Wow. That
Now I know it's unlikely. It's literally a shot, 1 in a million shot. But could you imagine the internet would melt? Like 5G could not save the internet.
That would be megaton of the megatons of all.
You want to talk about a partnership? I mean, first of all, no one ever thought Sony and Microsoft would team up, and they did, right? They shocked the world, and it was secret because no one from either of the parties outside of the big CEOs knew it was going to happen, right? Could you imagine if Bowser walks on the stage and says, "Yep, Banjo-Kazooie coming to the next DLC. Oh, and Phil, don't you have something else you want to announce about that? Oh yeah, by the way, Smash Brothers releasing this fall on the Xbox One."
Lord, man.
It would be. I don't think it's gonna happen, but that would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah.
Now, of course, it is. What I'm talking about is lunacy. I want you to understand that, okay? So understand, because I can see this 10 minutes from now. It's gonna be like, boom, said that Smash Brothers is coming to the Xbox One, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying that what I'm saying is lunacy. So pay me no attention. Like, these are not the droids you're looking for. But at the same time, could you imagine if these were the droids you were looking for?
I like that Star Wars reference.
Man. I like that. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, man, that's it for me. I mean, I would love them to that cinematic single player, like a new franchise.
They do. They need that in a big way. They
need like their next Halo.
That's a great game.
Because I got full confidence that Infinite is most likely going to be good. I'm hearing tremendous things about Gears. We know about the Big Mac, large fries, and the shake. We know they coming. We know Forza's coming. We know this, but we need. Like I said, there's something.
I kind of want that extra quarter pounder with cheese.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You need a McRib every now and then. You need something else.
Bring back supersized fries.
Yeah, bro. You need, because again, that's what Sony does so well. Like, say what you want about Death Stranding, and we all got the throat baby joke. I get it. But it's something to be said when you see those type of experiences. They know how to captivate their base. They get you pumped. I heard the music and I'm seeing the graphics and I'm like, yo, I might have to get in on this. You know what I'm saying? Kojima look a little crazy, but I might have to get it. It's something about like the Last of Us and all these great, God of War single player cinematic IPs. I feel like sometimes, for Xbox, you're like, damn, they really need one. They need one.
They do.
The braids of Sony too, even this generation, they brought back older IPs.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Like, you played Shadow of the Colossus on PS4.
It's gorgeous. It's unbelievable.
It's better than the first one.
It is. I mean, the controls obviously still look. Let me just say this. There's a lot of things that Sony did right this generation. I mean, first of all, they're marketing geniuses. I say that almost every time I get a chance to, because you have to tip your cap. They were aggressive, they were vicious, they were no holds barred, and they were unapologetic. Okay, and they did what they needed to do, and look how it turned out. But when you look at their games, which is why I own the PlayStation 4 Pro, they are story driven. Yes, they're for me. I'm a selfish single player kind of a dude, so I appreciate that. They're single player, they're story driven, they're adult themed, their graphics are just listen, I know that you hear people like, oh my god, well the game 3 looked like game 6. You know what? I'll take all 6 of those effing games, please.
Yeah,
every time, because they're cinematic experiences in a way that you only and in truth only find on the PlayStation console, which is why I will always own a PlayStation console. Absolutely. But what Cog is saying is absolutely true. They need, even though Microsoft is going to be Microsoft, right? They're going to have games that are going to be dual games. You're going to have your single player, you're going to have your multiplayer, and that's great that they offer it for both sides of the coin, and I dig that. You're going to have to kind of go out of your comfort zone here and make that cinematic, over the shoulder, third person, gritty, adult kind of game that's going to make people say, you know what? They got it. Now I'm going to buy an Xbox.
That's what got people into the era. When you saw a Marcus Phoenix, you're like, what is this? Like, I got to get down with that. They haven't had that Marcus Phoenix or that next character for the next generation that you attribute to the Xbox brand. That everything has been, let's be real, a remix.
Yeah, it's the truth. It is
joint, and no disrespect to those joints, because those are still selling.
Cognito, haven't they tried though? I mean, like with like games like Recore.
Yeah, but
Or
you know what?
Kind of a half-ass.
Yeah,
that's like a half-ass attempt, right
it
there.
was. You know,
none
you have
of
to
those
look
games
back.
that weren't made by any of the first party devs. None of those games count.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
you know,
good
those
point.
they were really tightening budgets. They were, you know what I'm saying? That because you know the human roadblock. What the hell was his name?
Yeah, I know you're talking about the guy who.
Yeah,
in Microsoft.
he put a stranglehold on the Xbox. And again, you know, now that listen, Crackdown 3 was the last game in that you know regime. Phil has now he's taken over. He's making big moves. They're making money hand over fist. They're buying studios. We have to see what happens. And if you want, I mean, again, you have to look back. Okay, if you want to start and say, okay, where does Phil's fingerprint start? I mean, it could be a long place on the timeline. I mean, you can go back and say, okay, it was Forza Horizon 4. You know what I'm saying? That's under Phil's regime. Did very
Terry
well.
Myerson, by the way.
Terry Myerson,
yeah.
That's
ABCA B72s.
yeah, thank you, dude. Appreciate the human roadblock. And I heard that from actually people from sources that's what they used to call him under their breath.
Yeah,
because he stopped everything, and that's terrible. But I again, I don't apologize for Microsoft's behavior. Cog will tell anyone on this panel will tell you I'm fair. I will call you out on it, and I will say you've done wrong, and I will say, well, what are we going to do from here? We have to, now that they have these studios, they've doubled their studios. Like I said, you look back to 2018, post 2018 E3 to now, they have been making leaps and bounds. They are recovering in a way that no one saw them making these kind of strides in 12 months. There's just no way they could have done it, and they're doing it. So let's be fair. Yes, they need games. First party, absolutely. Let's take Gears 5 from there and move forward. And if they continue down the same path that they did prior to, E3 2018, then we're going to have to riot in the streets. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that's the way they're going to go, because I think they understand they need their hardcore. And they need their hardcore because the hardcore is going to bring in, of course, the casuals, which Sony is so good at doing.
Yeah,
but gentlemen, listen, I gotta run.
Yeah, no,
I gotta get up. I wanted to say, first of all, thanks for the link. It's always great hanging out with you, and I will definitely be back. Maybe the week that I come back from E3, we can talk about what happened.
Yeah, definitely, man. We'd love to get you back on, man. Kind of get your, I really want to hear your experience, and because it's the first time for you, I know you're really excited. So we definitely love to have you back when you get back in town.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, count me in, dude, and we'll definitely do that. And Cog, we'll be talking soon. And gentlemen, have a great weekend. And listen, thanks again for the invite. Love hanging out with you guys.
Absolutely, thank you, bud.
Safe flight, my friend.
Appreciate it, guy.
Guys,
thanks so much. Take care.
All right, man.
You too.
Yeah. So I do want to go to the rest of the panel here with Microsoft's E3 press conference and kind of what you guys want to see and what you think might be, I guess, a great showing for them. I mean, again, it's a little bit under 2 hours. There's a lot to talk about. Talked about xCloud, the 14 games that Phil's touting. Hey, big shout out to Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo, he's in the live chat.
Slow.
The beach must have got too hot.
I know, right? He's like, it's hot. I need some water. But Eric, I want to go to you, man. What are your thoughts on Microsoft's E3, man? Are you excited? Are you have tempered expectations? What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I don't know. With a lot of these things now, I think it's just smarter to go in tempered expectation. And I think when you say that to people, they kind of get offended by it. Like, well, you can't be hyped. I'm like, it doesn't mean that I'm not hype. As a gamer, I'm hype. I'm always hyped to see or hear about new stuff coming out or what could be dropping, right? But tempered expectation leads to better payoff, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? If you go in, remember how a couple years ago everybody was like, oh, they're gonna be dropping this, dropping that, and it was and then it became like the wait till E3 because you built yourself up to where you couldn't. Nothing could be reached. Like there couldn't be any realistic expectation. So the one thing that I'm enjoying is the fact that they've tightened the ship as far as leaks.
Preach.
That's
You know, so with that in itself, I haven't even really sat too much and thought about what, you know, they could, you know, show, or what, you know, my predictions might be, is because I actually just want to be surprised. And just in the fact that they own the stage, you know, it's theirs. Like, you know, so dazzle us. And I said this on Gaming Perspective last night. We're literally like in like a talent show competition. Like, we're the judges sitting back. They're on the stage. Like, show us what you got. You know. So, but I believe.
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah, I heard that Forte.
I do believe. I think I heard Cognito mention Ninja Gaiden. Yeah. So I kind of said, you know,
don't toil my emotions, Cognito.
Yeah, listen.
Come on, man.
That would be big, man.
That's what I said. I said that last night on the Game Perspective podcast. I said I will be completely okay if Phil kind of walked back on the whole, like, you know, he doesn't like exclusive this, exclusive that, or whatever, paid exclusive, whatever the case may be. But look, you can play on nostalgia. You can come up and say, this game was, we have something to show you that was huge for the original Xbox platform, and we want to bring that back. And even if it's like timed or whatever the case may be, but I think people would go crazy if they were able to bring back Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, that would be
in a big way.
That would be that would be really
that would be pretty big. That'd be
but
huge.
With Edagagi.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the only way to do it.
That's right. You know what I'm saying, B?
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it that way.
If Edagagi came out on stage, I would lose my shit. I would seriously be like, you know what?
I got to see the shades.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
That's the way you would have to do it. If you're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Team Ninja did go out there without him, and you see what happened when Ninja Gaiden 3. You know, so that would be tremendous. I'm not even bringing up Splinter Cell. We know how that kind of how that thing's kind of going.
That's taboo in this community. Certain people cry if just the fact it's not going to be there.
Right. But Nick did kind of bring up something interesting. He said, "What if you know, there was a remaster of sorts, you know, on a Splinter Cell game or whatever the case may be, like if they did like Double Agent or something like that, like a rebuild from the ground up."
I think people get mad. They be like, "Stop teasing."
Yeah, I think people would get mad.
People would get mad.
Now,
especially since everything's backwards compatible.
Yeah, because of the backwards compatibility. I think everybody assumes, like B said it, like because of the backwards compatibility, oh, it's coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's coming. So I think if they hit us with the rematch, people be like, oh.
Like, fam, really? Now, what if Nintendo went in the bag and got them to bring that original trilogy to Switch? Remastered.
Okay.
I mean, the remaster exists already.
Yeah, that's true.
It does.
That's true.
You know, so I mean, but what if they went? Yeah, but I mean, they could theoretically get up to probably Double Agent.
Yeah,
all running on Switch, pretty like 60 frames per second, running well. That would be nice
at 480p.
Hey, wait,
my man, Lord King, because that's what he would say, right?
Hey, it'll be perfect. Hey, it'll be perfect on a smartphone.
You know what I'm saying? So, so outside of that, like I don't have any like tremendously big predictions or anything like that. I'm just kind of sitting back this year and be like, is their year?
You want some of that body wash, E?
You want to wash off the stank from the last 4-5 years.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Forte, we're gonna get dislikes, man. Don't say that. You know that guy's gonna comment in the comment section. I'm not gonna mention his name.
Yeah.
Forte, don't you know that's the best soap ever made? That body wash is impeccable. Old Spice has got nothing on it.
I'd be like, here, send me your address. I'll send you some.
Hey, you know how you got you get your girl coming over, you know, like they like to go through your medicine cabinet, like, what the hell is this?
What is this? Xbox juice? Nah, baby. That's
a good prediction. That's a good prediction by Slow-Mo right there. 20. You're gonna hear, instead of hearing day one exclusive, it's gonna be day one Game Pass exclusive.
Oh yeah, with the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna hear that 20 times. I do imagine hearing that about 20, 30 times.
Exclusive.
Yup, the voice. You know that.
Yeah. I mean, what do they say that when they say console, PC, and Game Pass day one exclusive?
Console day one exclusive.
Let me ask you guys this though: is there any room at this point for another wait till E3?
No,
I don't want to hear that no more.
No, it ain't no more. Ain't no more wait until wait until next E3. We can't wait no more.
Real quick, I want to go back to you, man. So, are you? Is that pretty much your thoughts on E3? Because I do want to go to the rest of the panel here.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But only guarantee that I'll give you is, if they hit a home run, and most people are like up on it and feeling it, rest assured, the Xbox fanboys will find the one website that talk negative and put all your focus on that. Promise you that much.
Oh man!
By the way, I just got called a pony in the chat.
Did he up, pony?
AP Cool J says, "No offense, Brad, but it's very obvious that you're My Little Pony."
But no, that's it for me, Enrique. That's, like I said, I'm just sitting back. I just want to see the show.
All right, let's go to Forte.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts, sir?
Ah, man. So I took that day. Well, I did take it off. I get off work at 1:00, so I come home and get popcorn ready and enjoy this show amongst the rest of my friends. But man, so
your Xbox bubble bath.
He's gonna be seeing the tub.
I'm gonna mix it with some Old Spice, man. Put some swag. I gotta put some swagger in there, just to set that mood.
Hey, Forte, they need to hire D'Angelo to like sing, do the commercial for the Xbox body lotion.
How does it feel?
Yeah, exactly. How does it feel?
Yes, sir.
Yo.
All right, Martin, get that Martin meme. Listen all over your body.
You come out looking like Martin when Tommy Hearns hit him.
All right, so for me, I already think Microsoft already did what they needed to do. It's all about the presentation, which I don't have a problem with because I think the presentation is always good for Microsoft press conferences. Yes. I know this. I know some people have a lot of hang up on like probably the xCloud portion of it because they think that's the part that can like kind of linger on, but. I know that this is something new that they want to implement, and I'm willing to give them that because they're showing us 14 first-party titles. And what was the meme of even though people said Microsoft had the better press conference last year, the meme was, what were you showing us? What was coming from you? Mm-hmm. So I think they already set the expectation around, showing their IPs and letting people know what they're doing. So I already think that they already lived up to a lot of people's expectation. Mm-hmm. I just think it really comes down to what they actually show is what's going to put it over the top for a lot of people. Me personally, I just want to see Halo come back to the form that it was that I fell in love with 20 years ago when I literally thought I was going to buy that title on a PC and then Microsoft pulled the bait and switch and made me go buy an Xbox.
I'm sorry, Forte. Slow-Mo actually thinks that Halo Infinite's going to be a looter shooter. Like that's what we're going to see it.
Okay, so me and the whole looter shooter thing, I don't have enough time in my life for more than one. As much as I know I'm gonna no life Borderlands when it comes out, I kind of want Halo to be that traditional game. I don't mind it being open world. I think that's exactly where they're going with it. I don't mind it having a more of a branching story where stuff is built out over the course of time and they're adding things into that world over time like Destiny does.
Yep.
But I really don't want to go through a situation where I'm collecting armor out in the world like I do in Destiny. I mean, I do that enough in that one game. Now, do I think do I think 343 can pull it off? Remains to be seen because that's the one knock that we had for 343. They haven't came out with the full, complete version of a Halo game yet. And maybe this will be the one. Well, I think this will be the one that does it for them because I think they're taking it back to the essence. I just want traditional. I just want Halo to be everything I wanted to be because the lore is there. Right. If they wanted to blow this completely out and do what Destiny couldn't do in the beginning, make a compelling story in a universe that big, They have the source material to do it. And would I be mad if they did something like that? No. Would I be excited? Yes. Me personally, I don't want to jump into another looter shooter. But if it's that, trust me, I'm there. I won't say no to it. Fable, I've been wanting a more mature RPG from them for a long time. It's been too long ever since Fable 1 and Fable 2, Fable 2 was by far my favorite. And just going back into the world of Albany, I think is going to be really, really great. Hopefully we see exactly where that storyline and where they're going to take us with that. Just seeing a logo on the screen will basically just do me very fine. But outside of that, it's just, I want to be surprised. I'm not really even trying to even be in the prediction to try to see what they're going to do, because the one thing I know that I missed from E3 in the past is just being shocked when I see something on the screen.
Yeah,
that's why I haven't done like prediction videos on my channel and stuff, because I don't want to think about is that stuff good for your channel? Yes, but I also don't want to be overthinking and overanalyzing what I think is going to come at E3, because guess what ultimately happens when you do that? When you don't see it, you be like, man, not only am I a little upset, but now I got to go back and make this video about all the things that I wish I saw that wasn't there. So I just want to enjoy E3 for what it is. I want to talk about the things that they highlight. I want to be able to come out and say, yo, Microsoft and Bungie are teaming up, and be genuinely excited when I finally hear that news that it's going to be on xCloud and all these different mediums and stuff like that. I want to see what Nintendo's going to do. Is Nintendo going to walk out on the stage, and are they going to say something? Is Microsoft going to be on Treehouse Live? Did Phil Spencer record something during Treehouse Live or during Nintendo Direct where he came out and talked about, like you said, Enrique, that Banjo is going to be in Smash as a character? This is the first time in a long time where I was truly interested in more than just Microsoft. And that's what E3 is for me. And as much as I'm sad I'm not going to this one, I will be at next year, because next year I think next year is going to be the creme de la creme.
Yes,
new systems coming out. Next year's creme de la creme, and they are going to talk about these systems. And people say I don't want to hear about new hardware, but guess what? I want to know what the next thing is going to be. Do you have to go out and buy it? You have to go out and buy it? No, but I want to know what that is, because it's going to, the things that they show, are they going to show it on that new system? I think they are. They're not going to show it on the X. They're going to show it on whatever this new system is going to be. And it's going to drop they're just going to drop their jaws when they see it. Closer to PC than we ever been before. And I am a tech head. So that's the things I'm looking forward to. And on top of that, I'm looking forward to just listening to my man Cognito and Boom out there, just bringing us the stuff they did last time when they were out there. That's when I got into this community, listening to, people like them just talk about the things that I'm interested in. And I'm looking forward to that too. So,
yeah, man.
Nice, man. All right, cool. B Money, what are your thoughts, bro?
I think for me, as far as them knocking it out of the park, I think they really need to hit on some of the nostalgia pieces, bringing back some old IP. When Phil first started talking about bringing back, some of the OG games, I always brought up Banjo. That was, I always felt that Microsoft lacked a platformer. And then they hit us with the Super Lucky's Tales, which was like a joke.
Lord King swears that game's better than Super Mario World.
He's trolling.
I've drank with King, but I don't know what the hell he was drinking when he was talking that nonsense.
He's trolling, bro. He's taking receipts out here of all you guys. I think he really believes.
Cognito, he's sincere about that, man, isn't he?
He's dead serious with it. Like, what the he's dead serious with his foolishness. I'll be like,
but I hope Banjo does come back, man. I would love to see Perfect Dark reworked, and actually just a totally different game. Like if it was, set in a cyberpunk setting, or just something totally different than what we've known it for. I think that would be huge for me. Gears is going to be huge. That's one of my favorite franchises of all times. I think that game is going to be a lot bigger than people are expecting. And I think, Halo is going to be big too. the one thing I really want them to do is talk about the new consoles, talk about xCloud, get all that stuff out of the way early, and then I would love for them to just Phil come to the stage and say, it's time for games, and then no one comes to the stage after that. Just hit me with games back to back to back. You know what I mean? I think when you do that, it allows for people to be shocked, especially if you have something that's like, people aren't expecting. You know what I mean? If Ninja Gaiden was there, you know what I mean, and it's the whole arena is black, and you hear like swipes of the sword. You know what I mean? And you see a chain go across the screen, and you know what I mean, the logo pops up, like people would fucking go insane. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of stuff that I think they need at the show. You know what I mean, to really make people go bonkers. I think people feel that they're going to have a really solid show. You know what I mean, it's going to be really good. Having 14 different announcements there is huge. But I think, you know what I mean, you need that knockout punch. You know what I mean? And I don't think it can be, your main stage. It can't be one of the Halos or Gears or Forza, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? It's got to be something brand new, who's, something that's really knocking the socks off, for people. So, like you guys were talking about with the third person, you know what I mean, story driven game, something like that would be huge. Yes. I think Ninja Theory is like the perfect dev for that. Yes. I instantly think of like Hellblade. Like if Hellblade had like a bigger budget, you know what I mean, some real money behind it, you know what I mean, they could have really did something special with that. So, you know what I mean, just thinking about what Ninja Theory's, future is, you know what I mean, been under the Microsoft umbrella, you know what I mean, that the future is bright for them, and I know they're gonna cook up something super special. So, you know what I mean, those are the things I'm kind of looking forward to. Just give me some nostalgia pieces. Don't third party me to death. You know what I mean? We got the 14 announcements. So let me just see, you know what I mean, what you got in your bag. You know what I mean? What makes me want to stay on your platform. So that's really all I need.
All right, man. Just give you guys my 2 cents real quick. We wrap up this topic. I'm going into this with tempered expectations. I feel like the last couple E3s, it's been like their biggest show ever, and for me, it hasn't been their biggest show ever. I think they need to I think Microsoft really has to have a strong showing here, and I say this because I've been saying this for a long time. If they poo-poo this press conference, the narrative is going to be E3 sucks without Sony.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the narrative that Microsoft wants out there.
That's a valid point.
Yeah, you don't want to be the company that
if like Sony returns next year and they show a bunch of new games, you know what I mean, and really get their fan base going, you don't want to have that narrative out there.
You're not going to act like Sony ain't going to be petty during this week.
Oh, they're
king petty.
Yeah, we not like gonna act like they not gonna drop a release date for something or some type of announcement.
Oh, they're gonna hit us with some big news.
Be like, yo, fam, don't get gassed over it. I listen, King can say what he wants. I know how Sony move, man. They are the king. That's what's made them great this generation. I love their petty. Like they like, yo, like y'all not gonna do that. Like even when Xbox tries, like I call it put the foot on the neck. Like they got this ability to always do or say something just to take the steam away.
Yeah,
they put out a Death Stranding trailer.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. But I do think that they need to They need to do what Sony does. They need to play to their fan base, their base. They need to stoke the flames of excitement with their fan base. They need to show. I mean, 14 games, great. I think the rumor's 3 new IPs. Give us something. I've been on the Xbox platform since the get-go, since I first laid eyes on Halo, and it was going to be an Xbox exclusive. And I was like, I need to buy this console for this game, right? Yeah. And I feel like they haven't had something like that in a long time. I want a new character, a new world, something. Master Chief is great. Marcus Phoenix is great. They should kill him, put him out in the pastures. Like, they should. They should get rid of him.
What are you talking about,
man? Me and OBJ were going back and forth about that today.
But I want to see like that next, like Gears, that next Halo. Like why can't we have that on that platform? You know, we're seeing it with Sony. You know, with what they did this console generation, I'd like to see them have a mix of newer IPs and maybe bring some back those older IPs. I think someone mentioned what's the game where you're flying around in a plane?
Oh, Crimson Skies.
Crimson Skies, thank you. You know, like bring back a Crimson Skies or bring back a Mech Assault, something like that. I'm not really, I don't care for Battletoads, but bring back like a Mech Assault, something like that.
Would be cool.
What's that?
I said Mech Assault would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, like Mech Assault was like that was one of my favorite games when it came out on Xbox Live. It was just an awesome game, you know, and so. Show us some of those things, like play to your fans, like give us what we want, what we've been asking for a long time. It isn't just about the games. I think it's about the kind of games, and all eyes are on them. This is an opportunity for them to, I think, really kind of end this generation on a bang.
Yeah,
get people excited about the future. I do hope, though, that they don't focus too much on PC.
Right.
Not that I have an issue with their approach to PC, but I think the hardcore Xbox fan does.
Yes.
I think they feel like that when Microsoft talks about PC, that they're being neglected.
Yes.
The Xbox is being neglected. And they got to be careful talking about too much PC. If it's too much PC, you're going to hear people say, you know what? They have an identity crisis, or they don't care about the Xbox, or they don't care about me. And then you start seeing polls. Does Microsoft care about the Xbox gamer, or they care about the PC gamer? As ridiculous as those things sound, you're going to see that.
At this point, you have to say the console gamer, because I mean, Ibarra basically said that Xbox is the platform; it's not the box anymore.
That's true. You're absolutely right.
When they talk PC and they talk console, they're just talking Xbox. So does the console gamer feel slighted?
Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the console gamer that's going to feel slighted. I think I don't think that's the narrative that they personally. I don't think that's the narrative that they probably would want or should want out there, because you're going to see that. You're going to see people who feel disgruntled that, hey, they're not focusing on me. They're focusing on PC, and I'm a console gamer. And now, you know, I got to pay for Xbox Live. PC gamers don't have to pay for Xbox Live. And then, you know, there's Xbox Live, there's, you know, Xbox Game Pass on PC now. You know, if I pay for it now, do I have to pay for it on PC?
Right.
You know, there's that. There's some games that are going to be on PC that aren't going to be on the console, but then you're going to have console games that are going to be on the PC. So these are things that people see. To me, it's all about perspective and optics, and it's like they just can't. I don't think they can afford to spend too much time. Doesn't bother me personally. But talking about the PC side.
Let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this then. When it comes to that, and I do agree that can be a huge like pit hole for them if they do it. What do you think they can do to? Because they're going to talk about PC because that's a big part of their initiative going forward. I mean, what do you think they can do? Because I even feel like, okay, so there's a PC gaming show too. Now they can save some of those announcements for that, and they could talk about just stuff for the Xbox console, like you said. They could save that for that. But guess what? All those people that just watch the Xbox conference, what's going to happen if they do go to the PC gaming conference and they start talking about all the stuff they're doing for PC? That conversation still ain't going to change, because people, even though it's a different platform they're talking about, they still consider it Xbox.
That's a good point, because I mean, but here's the thing too, in Brab's defense, is that I think the console gamer would take it, they wouldn't be as offended, so to speak, right? If for example, like, I'm gonna use a case in point, like a title that I'm very excited for, low key, is Gears Tactics. Like, I'm an XCOM guy. I think that universe fits perfect with that RTS kind of format, and you know, Gears got covered. So for me, low key last year when they did get Tactics, I'm like, all right, but damn, like we ain't find out about no keyboard or mouse support, or you know what I'm saying? Like, is it coming, you know, to the console? Like, so again, I think if they can alleviate those fears by saying, hey, you know, this is definitely coming in Xbox, you're gonna have that controller support or whatever, and then I think it would go over easier for Tay if they put stuff that, for example, like an Age of Empires or whatever that may not be coming to the console that is going to PC on the PC gaming show. Yes. I think Xbox fans will have not going to like it either way, that it's an quote unquote a PC exclusive, but I think the blow will be lessened.
Right.
If you're showing someone on the E3 briefing something that they can't play on their X or their S or their whatever, and people are gonna be like, "Yo, fan, wait, why?" You know what I'm saying? Like, why?
Why are you even doing this here?
Why are you showing that?
You just off the stage.
Facts.
Take this to another stage.
I love the PC Game Pass announcement. That's a great announcement for gamers. I want to see how they integrate that. You know, maybe they do the ultimate thing, but they do. I do agree with Brad. They have to be careful with the hardcore base that's there for that, because they're gonna say what B Money's saying, like, "Yo, we ain't here for that. Like, take that off the screen."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was, my point that's what's gonna happen. So I think maybe talking about xCloud too much.
Yeah, again, B Money made a great point, which is get it out the way, right?
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom. This is what we do. Make it quick. Cause like, please move the right analog stick if you're going.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying.
She wasn't moving. She wasn't even driving the car.
Yeah, I think if you
the right analog stick and make it look like a 1-to-1 ratio, and whatever. I heard some things that they were planning with that, but we'll see. But they've got to make that believable to the mass. But just don't spend too much. Don't inside Xbox us. Right, and spend too much time on that type of stuff, which is cool, but people are there for the games. They want to see those IPs. They want to know, what are you working on? What are these studios working on? Like, they got to break protocol a little bit with those games. They got to show games.
Yeah, I'm okay if they even show us something that's next gen.
Yes.
Like, who cares? Like, I don't care if it's 2 or 3 years down the line.
I think they have to do that.
Do that. Show me. I don't care. Like, people are like, you don't want to show games too early. No, show me a game that's down the road, next gen, 2 or 3 years, that's running off, next gen hardware, because that is what I'm going to be thinking about. Like, holy shit, did you see that game? Oh my God, it looks so great. Like, because I mean, and it generates that excitement where you're like, you know what? I'm going to keep a pulse on what Microsoft is doing, because they just show me this game. It's next gen. I know it's 2 or 3 years out, but damn, it looks good. It's not Gears. It's not Halo. It's something new. Yes. And it looks amazing. It looks good. It looks fresh. It's something that resonates with gamers. And I think, like, that, again, man, I've been
sorry, I'm laughing at something that was just said in chat.
Well, what is it? Was it slow-mo?
Yeah, slow-mo.
Oh, come on,
you
slow-mo.
paid a visit to the toe, bro. So can you swear sandals on the beach? Is this true?
Jesus. Oh my God. Yo. That is funny. I was like, that is terrible. Okay.
I tried to mute myself, but I couldn't.
You started laughing. I was like, what happened?
I couldn't get to it fast enough.
Jesus, that is funny. All right, so now I forgot my train of thought. So that's my point. That's what I would like to see from them, but I have tempered expectations. Oh no, I'm still excited. I'm really curious to see the xCloud thing. I want to see how that works. I want to see a demo, because that's really, as you know, guys know, I'm a Foogle or whatever.
Lord 5G.
Lord
5G.
Hey, you know what? I am officially Lord 5G.
Lord 5. That's what I've been calling you.
Yeah, Lord 5G. Because I look, I'm excited in these technologies, and so I think xCloud, Phil's very bullish on it, and I believe him. So I think that, I'm curious. I want to see how this pans out. Because that's the other thing. I mean, Google's going to be there. Yeah. So Microsoft's like, yeah, you know what? We got xCloud. We're going to show we're going to show you guys what real streaming's about.
Yes, sir.
So
they got to put that Gears 5 cover in the bushes, though, man.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. But
what do you guys
go ahead
think about the third-party reveals, since Microsoft is like the big one at the show this year? Like, what big third-party game do you think that we haven't seen yet is going to be shown?
Interesting.
I'm not sure, but I think we might get a Sekiro DLC announcement.
Yeah,
I could see that.
See that.
Any chance we see Final Fantasy VII, the remake?
Yeah, that'll be a Square Enix show.
Yeah.
You don't think we'll see it on Microsoft? You don't think they'll? I know it'll be on Square Enix. You don't think they maybe showed a little bit on Microsoft stage?
I think one year Square kind of did like
they did that with Tomb Raider.
Kingdom Hearts. Wasn't Kingdom Hearts on like everybody's show?
That thing showed up everywhere.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a possibility. I know. I'm looking forward to that Avengers game. I want to see what's going on with that.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? Like the rumor that it's going to be like a looter shooter type game.
Jesus Christ.
We talked about this on Boom Show, Gaming News at noon, and like it sounds exciting, but then I was telling them, I was like, with the Anthem experience that I had, it's like, I don't know, I'm a little worried.
That's $100 mistake I made right there.
You ain't doing it.
I ain't doing it, man. If it's a looter shit, no.
I'm not. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm already in for 2 of them. Can't do a third one.
Yeah,
Division's already suffering because of that.
I told you guys 2 years ago, man, when everybody was announcing all these games, that's share world shooters, and what I mean, all these games got to be dedicated to. Only strong gonna survive, man.
Facts.
Only the strong gonna survive, and all these devs that poured all this money into this, they're gonna be mad, man.
Right now we got two, and Borderlands is going to survive just because it was here before all of them.
Yeah, it's Borderlands, got that name brand recognition, and
So the question I have is that what is the last thing that they're going to show? What is that one more thing going to be? Last year, it wasn't even a last thing. It was just CJ Projekt Red just shutting down and hacking the press conference. What is that last thing going to be for Microsoft this year?
That'll be Halo.
I think Halo might be somewhere in the middle. What I always tend to think about these things is always something that but it's not the predictable thing.
Right.
Halo to me would be too predictable.
Yeah, be too predictable would be the last thing because people are already going to be looking for it, and the later and later it gets in the show, it's going to end up being the last thing.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to end on Halo or Gears. I would think that it might be Gears just because Gears is coming out sooner.
Okay.
But, what I mean, depending on how they want to show off that slip space engine, what I mean, and different features to the game, they could show that. What I mean, end it with Halo. I mean, I guess it just depends on what they plan on showing with Halo.
Oh, that's one thing I definitely don't want.
If they show it in the middle, I mean, the Halo, then that's like the high, and then like where do you go from there? You know what I mean?
Look, the one thing I don't want, you just said it. Please don't show me what the slip switch engine can do. Just don't. Don't go in. I can understand you want to show off the new tech that your new engine can do, but show it to me in the process of what the game is going to be. I don't want to see like a tech demo of like a facial feature of what it looks like now versus what it looked like before. I don't want to see that.
You don't want that vertical slice?
I don't want that vertical slice, man. I done seen some bad vertical slices in the past, man. It's not too many. It's not too many companies I trust when it comes to that trailer showing on the TV screen, man. They like to jazz it up a lot.
Yeah, I know. I would say this. I mean, the givens could obviously be Halo and Gears, and that would be fine if both games are really fantastic. But I do agree with Forte in the sense that kind of forms into the predictable pattern. And it just would be dope if it's something we don't know, right? If they end with something we don't know. I mean, Cyberpunk was fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Last year when we got a chance to see it. I would prefer it be a first party and not a third. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, it's something that they control that's there and it's something new and it's something fresh and cool. And you're like, yo, you just leave the comment. Yo, what the hell was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we hype for whatever this IP is. That would be dope too. But Halo Infinite set it off last year. I remember they set it off with that. Gears is coming, but you would think because Gears is coming soon, releasing soon, that they might not save it as the mic drop. So I just want I just hope it's something new, something cool that they control, preferably not third party. That would be.
Yeah, I mean the last two E3s they ended third party.
Yeah, Anthem and then Cyberpunk. Yeah,
and listen to what the conversation at E3 was on those games when they did it. So being last at Microsoft's press conference really does generate a buzz because Anthem was before that, and Anthem was the talk of E3.
Yes.
Then Cyberpunk was the talk of E3 after that. Shout out to the 250 people that got free codes to Witcher. That was cool. Like I was watching that stream and I was like, man, those are codes on the screen. Somebody freeze the screen and put it. I said they're giving away codes already to the game, but it ended up being Witcher codes. But no, that's what I think. I just think overall, less the more unpredictable they can be in this press conference, the better. Because I think I don't think there's no way they can escape the fact that Sony's not there. I think no matter what they show at their press conference, if Sony comes out and does anything and says they could just say a release date for Last of Us and not even show it. They don't even got to show a video or a trailer. They could just say Last of Us releasing on whatever date, tune in to the special reveal trailer on this day, and that will take over E3. And that's just because they built up such a fan base following for their games and the media. That's the one thing Microsoft definitely needs to do. It's nice to win over the fans, but you have to win over the media. The media is what drives the conversation.
Media's biased.
Yeah, but were they biased during the 360 phase when Halo and Gears, where Gears of War outsold every first party game that Sony ever made that year?
No, because Microsoft was they were putting out a lot of games that weren't on the PlayStation at the time, and they were the media darling at the time. The 360 was. I mean, look, they had all these games, Lost Odyssey, Gears. I mean, they had a lot of content, a lot of new games that were good.
I agree with that. I just think that they need to. As much as you say, they just need to win that part of the market over. If they can win, at least if they can change and get the idea that owning an Xbox is very feasible nowadays in their heads, the fans will follow. Because as much as we say that the media is biased and we hate the media, sorry, the media is the reason that these conversations keep happening the way they keep happening because they got such a loud voice. And if they win them over, it's easy for us to follow suit, and then the casual base will follow along with it. And that's where I think we lost it with the Xbox One. Media didn't like where they were going. Fans jumped on top of it. Sony compiled the situation by sharing the game on a video, and all of it just turned into a rolling snowball that Microsoft could not stop. Facts. And now this is their opportunity to stop all of that. And even if they don't like quote unquote blow everybody away in this E3, they just need to do something for themselves and make sure that setting themselves up for the next generation, that's what this E3 should be about. It shouldn't even be about what's coming out next. It shouldn't even be about Gears of War 5. Gears is coming out this year. What are you going to do to show me that I should keep my Xbox One X or go out and buy the brand new system that you already confirmed you're going to talk about tomorrow? So I need to see the reasons behind that. And that's where we're going to, that's the conversation that needs to be had. And guess who's going to have that conversation more than we are? The media. And the media needs to be bought in on what they do. So Microsoft, do whatever you need to do to win those people over, and don't worry about like Shannon Loftus coming out saying stop people from buying our system. No, you go out there and tell them why you should want to have our system, and they will echo your sentiments.
You do that by showing compelling content. Though.
Exactly.
That's kind of been the issue. You notice that Nintendo doesn't have issues when the media is discussing them, nor PlayStation. It's because it comes down to content. Same thing last console generation. So every time I hear media bias things, the reason I'm so passionate about that particular subject, because I was around last console generation, and it was the Sony guys that were saying the media was biased against PlayStation 3.
And point. I mean, compelling content stops the noise.
Yes.
Right? Ops to know if you got the games, if you got, that's why like I'm so hyped for the direct. I mean, at the same time, like I'm looking at an Astral Train, I'm looking at a Marvel Alliance. You know what I'm saying? They've got content that I'm like, yo, I cannot wait to play and wait to see. You know what I'm saying? If you have content, you're able to quell the noise.
Yep.
Yes.
Bottom line.
Absolutely. And so when you put out Body Wash, no one's gonna say shit.
Damn, shout out. That would be the next Patreon gift that we'll give away on the IOP.
Hey, this house Sony gonna be petty.
Talk to me, baby.
Here we go.
Hey,
Petty.
They're gonna show us that Joe's still alive.
Wow. They're gonna put a picture of him.
Do you know how much that would get people buzzing?
Bro, that'll break the internet. That'll break the internet. All I gotta do is like a quick little Viginet release date at the end, like how they just did with Death Stranding. Man, people gonna be like, it's over.
Yeah, Sony won. They show that Joe's alive.
Yeah, show a picture.
They be like, I don't care what Microsoft doing. They like, yo, you seen that Last of Us trailer, man?
All they did was show you walking in a room, and all of a sudden Joe was sitting on a couch, and they cut the black.
It could be. Good.
No, I'm saying, and they cut the black, and next thing you know, it's like, tune in to our. They can literally announce that they're doing a PSX and say, they gonna say they could literally have it on the camera.
That'd be foul.
Pan to a couch, and all you see is Joe looking down in a book. And then it just cuts the black, and it said "See you at PSX" and put the date on the screen.
Wow,
and that will shut it down.
That'll be the pettiest of the pet.
They're gonna be like Xbox on Suicide Watch. It'll be I go front. It would be a beautiful petty.
It'll be a beautiful, and Twitter will burn.
Twitter will burn. The internet would burn down. People,
look at this. Look at this. Boom. Game over.
Game over.
Yeah.
Nothing Microsoft can do after that point. They just don't have, and like you said, that's the compelling IP that they just don't have right now.
Smart guy said y'all giving them ideas.
Nah, they probably have those ideas.
Oh, man,
and that's funny that B says that because
Sony stay locked and loaded, man.
Yeah, they don't.
Whenever Microsoft got an announcement, Sony got one right in the back pocket. Shut down all the noise.
What we were saying from Jump B. Don't underestimate the competitiveness and the level of petty.
Exactly.
Yeah, look, they're not. Look, Sony has not been top dog since 1995, other than maybe last console generation. They haven't been top dog by accident. They're methodical. They have good, solid marketing. They invested in first party. They make good content. They listen to their fans.
Yeah. Part of me wants this to happen now.
I know.
Part of me really wants this to happen.
If that happens,
Could you imagine just the craziness that would be going on the E3 floor if that happened? We'll feel it here at home just because we're watching it, and I think everybody will be. I think there will be so many videos out there of people doing trailer reactions, like this is what you missed in the new Last of Us 6-second trailer.
People would be in tears.
And we'll get 30,000 views just because it's Last of Us.
All I want to see, just for pettiness reasons, is my man J Dub drop that tweet.
Wow.
I know he can hit me with that tweet. Cog, there it is.
J Dub will be in his bag.
The foolishness will be at the all-time high.
I will pay money for them J Dub memes. I know he gonna be there. I'm gonna have to see King try to deflect this, and I'm just gonna be laughing.
Looking forward to this, man. This is
it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun.
What we all live for, though, man. When it comes, this is what we all live the game for. This 1 week where anything can happen, and man, people, like you said, people think Sony. I mean, they're just sitting in the weeds. Don't be surprised if they cross 1 million systems sold in the middle of Microsoft's press conference and put out a press release right in the middle of their press conference talking about they sold this, and then they dropped that trailer.
Before you remember, people thought them saying that they weren't going to E3 meant they were going to be quiet all of 2019. People kept saying they are not going to stay quiet all of 2019, yo.
They can boot up a Twitch stream at any moment and show something.
Because they control the narrative. At the end of the day, they've got the IP. They've got so many guns in the chamber, so many bullets in the chamber they can just literally throw out. I'm not sleeping, man.
They had 11,000 people looking at a stream with fingers and hands in it.
Yeah, they were steady watching that for hours.
In video, and with them even knowing that the stream wasn't going to start till the next day. Consistently for 12 hours, there was 11,000 people in there. Dog,
man, they selling out of Creepy Baby in a Tube. They're selling out of that joint.
I told people that's going to be one of the hottest collector's editions. You watch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yo, shout out to the Ashaluka, but they had a really good conversation about that on Stuffcast about where would you put, like, it's real cool that you're getting it. But when you buy it, are you buying it to put it somewhere? How are you going to explain that collector's edition to your significant other when they walk in your game?
No, man, you keep it in the box.
You said you don't. You just keep it in the box. It's my night. It's my light. It's my shade. I need my night light. J Dub was like, he was like, that's my unborn child.
Wow,
that's terrible.
That's my unborn child.
I got Travis Henry edition. Oh, that's bad. I shouldn't say that.
No,
savage.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I do. Oh my. We need to wrap up tonight's podcast. But I want to thank everyone in the live chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this evening. Great conversation in the live chat as always. Hey, big shout out to Mr. Boomstick.
Boom.
Who's kind enough to join us for a few minutes. He is flying out to E3 on Friday. And hey, big shout out to Lord Cognito. Cognito, man. It is seriously, man. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, brother.
Having you and the Iron Lords on, man. Seriously. We say this every time you guys come on. Mad love for you guys. Love what you guys are doing. Keep up the great work. You guys are one of the best podcasts out there. Seriously.
Thank you, brother.
Love the positivity and just, you guys week in, week out put on great content on your website and your show. Jay, man, just mad love, man.
I love, bro. You already know family here, man. Everybody, it's good to be back, man. Just talking with y'all. So excited. I got me extra hype right now. Like, I'm so looking forward to everything that's gonna be revealed. And yeah, man, we only a few days away, man. We're close. We're getting to that crunch. I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? And got to do it up with Brap. It's long overdue. Much love for y'all, man. Thanks for having me. I got to come back and maybe we could do something when I'm out there. And like I said, like either get King and everybody in the crib, you know what I'm saying? Do a little crash Brap or y'all crash ILP or something. But we definitely got to do something.
Yeah, we should, man. I would love for that to happen again. Like I said, we had Lord King on last year, and he was kind of giving us a tour of the house, and we saw you guys in the background. Yeah, and so if we could do something, man, that would be fantastic.
Let's do it, man. It's gonna be fun, and I can't wait. And like for people like Boom, shout out to them that came through. I just want to see. There's gonna be a couple people. This will be their first experience, the first conference. I think Sav will be his first as well too. So I just want to see their face. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
When the bombs get announced, and it's just a euphoric thing. It's Christmas. You know what I'm saying? It's Super Bowl. It's all that. It's the Mecca of gaming. Is what I call it. Like PAX is my favorite because you get to talk to the developers a little bit more on a one-on-one. But there's no spectacle like E3. Mm-hmm. That is the Mecca. That is the Super Bowl. And as a gamer, you got to get out there. Brap, Forte, please next year. If you're gonna do it, next year's the one. Because obviously,
man, let's put the flag in the ground right now, man. Everybody from Brap,
let's do it.
Commitment and pull up.
Pull up, bro. Let's do it.
You ain't got to tell me twice.
Yeah, brother.
Vacation time's already saved up.
Set that time. Let the boss know.
Let's do it. Yeah. No, seriously, man. We should all. We should all do it next year and head out there and just
We already got the Iron Lord's castle. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get their B&B room. Everybody's good. Everybody's Gucci. Everybody save money. We have a good time. Dudes out here piling up, getting the Uber together. You know, they're splitting that Uber, saving that bread. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you got to do, but just get here. That's what I tell people. Same thing with Addy. I was like, yo, just get here, brother. Don't even worry about anything else. We got that, and it's gonna be fun, man. And like I said, it's one of those experiences. As a gamer, you cannot go through life. We out there. You cannot go through life until you experience it. It's the great
facts.
No doubt.
Facts. All right,
everybody. I was gonna say everybody in the chat. Cognito's he's a really close friend to the team. You know, we really appreciate everything he does for the community. Support them as much as you can.
Like the t-shirt Forte.
Yeah, that's why it's up there, brother. You know, represent. So, you know, anything you can do for those young men, do it. I mean, Patreon, buy t-shirts for them. They do this stuff out of the goodness of their hearts to bring us the content that we want to see. And we want to be able to send them to anything they want to go to. So do what you need to do. Share their videos, like their stuff. Drop through the IOP on Sundays. It's always a good time. Get to see the tomfoolery in full effect.
You saw my foolishness.
The foolishness is great.
I love the cigar and everything.
No, The Godfather was amazing. Yeah. I loved every minute of it up until the moment that the screen crashed and made you infamous. but no, man, for one person to another, man, have fun out there. Do what you do. Treat everybody out there like the royalty that I know you are, and trust me, we're gonna be there with you next year.
Much love, brother. Thank you so much, Forte. It means a lot to me. You have no idea. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And Cognito, before we wrap up, man, let everyone know, man, for those who don't know where to find you guys and aren't aware of lordsofgaming.net, let everyone know, man.
Absolutely, man. At Lord Cognito on Twitter. Every Sunday is the Lord's Day. You already know YouTube, Iron Lord Podcast. And of course, like Brad mentioned, who has a tremendous article up right now on lordsofgaming.net, the Joust, little series that you did with Boom, talking about media bias, which is fantastic. You got to see both perspectives. And it was good because both you guys came in with a respectful approach, but showed your side as to why you feel, how you feel, and you provided great examples. And that kind of stuff we encourage, that kind of writing we encourage. We got Josh Redding, the superstar, the young superstar. He's out there. He's going to be pumping up a lot of material. Also, check out my boy Gondor's Condor. He's big in the Overwatch scene. He's got some stuff going on. He's a huge Nintendo fan as well. He's going to be rocking with us on the direct live blogging. And of course, the king of the statues, combat talk, all that. You know what I'm saying? Good stuff. You got catch his material. I'm cooking up something with Sov right now. Check us out Friday, but actually before E3, we're going to do this thing. Me and Sov work on a series called Roundtable Reviews, where I think Forte, you saw a little bit of it. We debuted it, which is kind of like we go all those geek movies that me and Sov always go.
Oh, yeah, the one y'all did at the movie theater.
Yeah. So like me and Sov, we'll just chop up, we'll get away, you know what I'm saying, get them away for the wife for a little bit. And we'll be like, yo, you know, we're going to see whatever, Infinity War, whatever it is. And that's how we normally do. Like it'll be me, him, and Kai, and then we'll do it at the theater, and we just go boom, live raw reaction in the theater. You know what I'm saying? Chilling. This one's gonna be big because King gonna be there, Addict gonna be there.
Nice.
We picked up a spot up in LA. It's another little bougie movie theater spot. You know us. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna have the drinks in hand. We might be a little nice, so I'm just warning y'all now.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro.
The X-Men joint, what you call it? What's the one that came out? The Phoenix? The Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix, yeah. Probably gonna do it for Dark Phoenix. Go check us out there. We'll try to put that. It's not gonna be live. We'll record it, but we'll probably put it up that night for you guys to see it the next morning. It's just a little something that we do because we also like to do the movies, the comic book stuff, the geek stuff. So check us out there. It's Roundtable Reviews with your boy and Sovereign, Lord Sovereign.
No doubt, man. All right. Again, have a safe trip, man. Again, we look forward to a lot of the news coverage and stories that you guys are going to be working on at E3 this year. So, Forte, let people know where they can find you, man.
Find me YouTube, Gaming Forte, Twitter, Gaming_Forte. I mean, playing on this Xbox at Nautical, man. You know, that's the name that a lot of people like to call me by now. So I know I know Cognito and Brap doesn't too much care for that.
No, you're forte, man.
Hey, but check it out, man. I really appreciate everybody that stops by. Shoot through the channel, talk about all that Xbox stuff, talk about the Division, Destiny, everything looter shooter wise. It's going to be a really cool time for that stuff because a lot of new content's coming out. So check me out if you're interested in that.
All right, man. Awesome. B Money.
Yeah, man. You catch me pretty much everywhere. Same name, B Money 101. On social media and on your favorite console, and then just catch me on the Inner Circle podcast on Saturday nights, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. We should be doing a show this week. If not, we'll be doing a wrap up early next week for Microsoft's press conference. But we'll be here too, reacting to Microsoft conference Sunday night, right?
Yeah, Sunday. Once the press conference from Microsoft wraps up, we're going to be doing a post podcast, E3 podcast. We'll be talking about all the announcements from Microsoft's E3 press conference, and we'll give you our thoughts and opinions on it. So have more information on that as we get closer to this Sunday. So,
oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah, me too. Eric Jackson.
Oh, yeah, you can find me EC Jackson with an X on all the things except for Switch, where you can find my UPC code pinned to my Twitter.
Say hi, UPC.
He did sounds funny shit.
Yo,
oh my goodness!
Shout out to you and Slow Mo. Where can everybody meet? Where everybody can find you at, man? Type it in the chat.
Type in the chat.
Type it in the chat. So we can't forget about the Dandada.
Yeah, big shout out to Slow Mo. Big shout out to Slow Mo. So he'll be joining us. I believe he'll be back in time for E3.
He's gonna be back.
So.
He said he's back Saturday.
All right. So yeah, I think he's gonna be joining us too. So. All right, everyone. Thank you again so much for hanging out with us this evening. Keep an eye out for more information on Sunday's special Brat podcast on Microsoft's E3 press conference. Other than that, everyone enjoy the rest of the week. Thank you all for your support. Hit that like button. Check out the Iron Lords. Check out Tick. Check out Forte. Check out their channels. And if you haven't subbed yet, give us a little sub. Give us some love. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys in a few days. E3 officially kicks off tomorrow. Stadia is the future. Peace.
Oh, Lord, this is going to be a meme.